Welcome into Orange Heat. I'm Giovanni Heater alongside Kyle Marchak with you tonight, and it's Monday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills take a road trip to Foxborough, Massachusetts to take on arch rivals, the New England Patriots. Kyle, a big one tonight, and typically we're here to call Syracuse football, Syracuse basketball. We've done a little bit of boxing, but with the Syracuse basketball program on hiatus, we said, why not call some Monday Night Football? So we're here tonight. How you doing, Marchak?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on. I mean, this is going to be a great matchup tonight. You and I both with deep connections in the AFC East, as longtime fans of different teams, of course. But, nonetheless, watching the Bills will be a pivotal game for pretty much anyone in the AFC East except for the Jets, who are all the way out of it. And, of course, the Pats still fighting for a spot as a recognizable team despite the lack of an opportunity for a playoff chance. So a lot of stuff to look at tonight for sure, Gio.
Yeah, I think the biggest storylines have to be that the Bills, yes, they clinched the AFC East championship, but now they're trying to seal up that 2 seed in the AFC as a whole. A win tonight would do so and put them ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers with that 2 seed in the AFC. And then the Patriots trying to avenge a loss earlier in the season to none other than the Buffalo Bills. So it's a great night for football. We'll be with you in just a second. It's the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. It's Monday Night Football, and it's here on Orange Heat. Welcome to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. It's the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots on primetime Monday Night Football. I'm Giovanni Heater alongside Kyle Marchak. We thank you so much for joining us here tonight on Orange Heat. An NFL matchup, Kyle, and an exciting one at that. It's about 41 degrees in Foxborough, Massachusetts, and Tyler Bass is set to kick off already for the Buffalo Bills. But looking at both squads, Kyle, after the kickoff, we're going to talk about some things to look at, and we're underway here at Gillette Stadium. A nice return here for the Patriots early, just like that, and taken down by Tyron Johnson at the 25-yard line is McKinley, and that's where Cam Newton will come out and start for the New England Patriots, Kyle. So what are your keys to watch if you're New England in this matchup?
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing preparing for this game that I noticed is when you look up, Buffalo Bills roster or Patriots roster, every time you look up that specific type of keyword, you get the name of their starting quarterback. So I look up Buffalo Bills and I get Josh Allen, and vice versa with Cam Newton for the Patriots. So it's pretty easy to state here that those are the faces of their offensive, right? So, how are these guys going to run their offenses? Both guys who can really, relax in the pocket and break out of it when they need to. So all sorts of stuff to look at. And with that being said, I think, which secondary for both teams will capitalize late in the game, because both teams nearly have given up the same amount of points per game thus far. So it's about those late plays. Who will capitalize? Who will make the big plays late? Because that's what separates you from the rest of the average teams per se. And, will the Bills force Cam to throw here? Obviously, on this opening drive, they're going to go to their running back a little bit. But Cam, a guy who can break out of the pocket, if they force him to not rush and rather get the ball downfield, I think the secondary will hopefully handle it well for the Bills. So, of course, a bunch of different things to look at tonight.
And it's back-to-back big runs to start off the game for Sony Michel, coming out of Georgia just years ago. And now the New England Patriots are rolling inside Buffalo territory, but Ed Oliver wasn't fooled that time, coming up to make a big play, wrapping up Sony Michel about 3 yards in the backfield. And he leads the way on this Buffalo Bills defensive line alongside Jerry Hughes on the end. The linebackers for Buffalo, Tremaine Edmonds and A.J. Klein, as well as Matt Milano, have been fantastic as well. And there's a lot to talk about in this deep Buffalo secondary. So 2nd down and 13 from the 36-yard line. A little bit of flea flicker action. Back to Cam Newton. Pass down the left side and nearly caught but dropped. The intended receiver that time for the New England Patriots couldn't haul it in. And just like that, it looks like the Buffalo Bills dodge a humongous bullet there. It's 3rd down and 13. That had 6 written all over it, but Damiere Byrd just couldn't rail it in, Kyle.
Yeah, interesting play to create some space for the secondary, or against the secondary of the Bills, as you saw there. Number 23 chasing him down. That's something you're going to expect with a guy like Cam Newton, especially late in the season where he has nothing to fight for except for his own pride. You're going to see some trickery. Always a guy that it's hard to really read sometimes.
Newton, 3rd down and 13. This time it's complete and it's up the right side. But nonetheless, it is going to be 4th down, and it looks like the Buffalo Bills are going to force the New England Patriots to kick a field goal here. But here, if you're New England, you have to feel a little bit good on what you did on that ensuing drive. I mean, a big burst run, chunk play out of Sony Michel, and you're going to get 3 points on the board here. Nick Folk trots out. He's 12 for 14 on field goal attempts so far this season from 40-plus yards. And that's where this one is from, as it's a 45-yard attempt from the right hash. 4th down and 4. Folk's kick is up and right down the middle. No problem for Nick Folk, and the New England Patriots burst out to an early lead on Monday Night Football. But Damiere Byrd, the story on that drive, dropped what would have been 6 points on the board. Micah Hyde with a little bit of contact late to force the ball out for good, and the Pats put up 3.
Yeah, I think that'll hurt, especially with a young slinger like Allen coming out now. I think he's going to capitalize on that missed 3 points right there. So Allen, definitely looking forward to seeing how he'll play, how he'll respond to that fortunate play for the secondary of the Bills. It's going to be interesting to see for sure.
Josh Allen, an absolute gunslinger so far this season. The MVP frontrunners have to be Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes up to this point, but a lot of people like what they see out of this kid from Wyoming and Fireball, California. What are your thoughts on Josh Allen and the rest of this dynamic Buffalo Bills offense?
Well, he certainly catches your eye because of the youth, and yet he seems so experienced on the field. He's very relaxed in the pocket, not afraid to break out of it. A lot of stuff to look at for sure. I mean, he's really a dual threat. You could compare him to Lamar Jackson, but really, no one quite runs like Lamar, of course, but he can really run the ball. I mean, something you don't expect from a guy like him who has such an arm. So at the same time, you have to worry about if he's going to get the ball downfield or if he's going to get it downfield with his feet. So all sorts of different things to look at. That dynamic is certainly going to be interesting paired with the defense of the Patriots, of course, missing Stephon Gilmore. So, downfield, I think, might be the name of the game tonight for the Bills, but nonetheless, Allen, a guy who can break out of that pocket.
Absolutely. It's a good one here so far at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, and it's the New England Patriots jumping out to a 3-0 lead. The Buffalo Bills trying to sweep the New England Patriots in a season series for the first time since the 1999 season. That was the last time the Bills were able to do something like that, and that's probably because in the year 2000, none other than a man named Tom Brady was drafted to the New England Patriots, and the rest is history. The Bills haven't been able to sweep this team since the 1999 season, and what a feat that would be to really get over that hump if you're the Buffalo Bills at this point. You already won the AFC East for the first time since 95. Now another obstacle to tackle here tonight, but Belichick certainly has other ideas.
Yeah, and they're showing that animation on ESPN right now of what the Patriots have missed out on since Tom Brady left. Really, I mean, ever since Brady left, the AFC East has been kind of shook completely. The last time a team really, scared the Patriots for what the AFC East was maybe even the Dolphins a few years ago when they went 11-5 and made the playoffs in a wild card spot. They certainly were a threat, but otherwise, no teams have came close. Even the Bills caught that playoff spot a couple years ago as well, and they were 9-7, pretty much as slim as it gets. So it's certainly interesting to see the Patriots being a bottom feeder now with Tom Brady leaving and, of course, having his struggles with the Buccaneers. So it's really been an odd dynamic ever since.
And now we're underway again here for the Buffalo Bills, and a decent return here along the left side. And that's a Pro Bowl kick returner for the Buffalo Bills, and Andre Roberts. He had another big one right there. Just selected as a Pro Bowl special teamer for the kickoff specialist, and he proved to be that time with a big return.
Yeah, Devin Hester type stuff right there. Look at him find the gap, cut to the left and down the sideline. He shot the gap, maybe a couple guys to his left, and he shot right through. That's a great play, picking up some blocks downfield as well.
So if you're Sean McDermott and Brian Daboll, you have to be very pleased as you're starting near midfield. That's a 47-yard kick return, and that's exactly where they're going to start at their own 47-yard line. Josh Allen claps his hands, handoff up the middle. Devin Singletary, a little bit of miscommunication. Looks like Allen waited a little bit too long to hand that thing off, but it's going to be a gain of 3 for Devin Singletary and the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, it's a nice play right there. Obviously, they have a couple guys to worry about in that backfield other than Allen. But, a nice play to get a couple of yards, but looking forward to Allen getting that arm loose soon enough.
Josh Allen has thrown a touchdown pass to 13 different guys on this Buffalo Bills squad, tying an NFL record, and the Bills would look to advance that and make their own record at this point. Pass complete, left side, Gabriel Davis, a rookie out of the University of Central Florida, playing for the Knights in his college days, now leads the team in touchdown receptions for the Buffalo Bills with 6. Stephon Diggs is right behind him with 5. So now it's going to be third down and very short for Buffalo as they pass midfield. And Gabriel Davis made a nice reception. Josh Allen just methodically moving at that time. And it's going to be third down and 1 here, Kyle. Are you looking for the quarterback sneak as trips wide receivers to the right side is stacked?
Yeah, it's certainly a worry, but as we see, they're going wide right there.
So it's going to be a jet sweep to Isaiah McKenzie, and he's got the first down before running out of bounds. No problem that time for Buffalo as the chains get moved, and it's an early first down for the Buffalo Bills.
And that's what's so fun about watching this Bills offense is, with a dual threat quarterback and then a couple of guys that they split touches in the backfield with as well. There's so many people to worry about. And, you think the backfield is scary enough. And then you look at the receiving core. Of course, you gave us that stat. 13 different receivers have scored touchdowns this year. And of course, that's an NFL record. So even the entire receiving core is scary to look at. This Bills team is certainly a threat to the AFC.
1st and 10 for the Buffalo Bills. Allen dancing around in the pocket. Strike delivered up the middle. Complete. Gabriel Davis has it once again for Buffalo, and he slammed down to the ground. Some chippy play taking place, and it will be a completion for the Bills nonetheless, and they'll take the ball at the New England 25-yard line. So the Bills are marching.
Yeah, that's a nice play right there on that cutback route from Davis, and it seemed like the ball was punched out when Jackson came in. Yep, that pretty much Jackson came in, punched it right out, and sat right on top of it. But under him was Davis collecting that ball back up. But still a nice play. The Bills got lucky there, and they're certainly fortunate to have it. But they'll capitalize in this situation for sure. Davis ready to go back out there.
Yeah, you don't see that punch out on the initial touch, and I'm wondering if he got touched as well before he went down. Nonetheless, the Bills still have it. Singletary handoff on the left side. He'll get about 4. Before being taken down by Devin McCourty of the New England Patriots. And it'll be a 2nd down and 6 for Buffalo.
Yeah, McCourty's probably going to be that guy that really leads this defense for the Patriots tonight. Without Gilmore, he's going to have to step it up a little bit. Of course, a different position, but certainly a guy to look out for.
Yeah, the McCourty twins are huge in the New England secondary at the cornerback position without their star safety, as you mentioned tonight, in Stephon Gilmore, who was the defensive player of the year last year in the NFL. 2nd down and 6. Josh Allen, empty backfield, drops back, pass complete to the right side. Devin Singletary showing a little bit of his burst with a nice juke move, diving across the 10, and that was fancy.
Yeah, Singletary, a shorter guy, so he's super explosive and a little cutback, little jab step to his right, and he really broke that dude's ankles right there. What a play. And great route running right there as well.
Yeah, especially for a tailback. That was fancy. And wow, Simmons didn't stand a chance, and Hall was able to bring him down for the tackle. Now, Brian Daboll, this is where he does his work best. A former Alabama product of Nick Saban in his 3rd season as the Bills offensive coordinator, now Buffalo in the red zone at the 11-yard line. And this is where the Bills can really attack you. Josh Allen in the shotgun, one man to the left side. It's going to be Singletary, and he gives him a little pitch here. Singletary to the right, and he's drilled out of bounds, but not before gaining about 5. Jackson was the one who hit him away, and it'll be 2nd down and short for the Bills.
Yeah, little dude pops right back up here, and I think they're going to continue to give it to him to inch up the field with those extra yards as they're really deep in the red zone right now. 2nd and 4, just looking for a short play and then maybe going wide again. Of course, they've been going about mid-depth wide all night thus far.
The Bills have not had a negative play yet on this drive. It started with a 47-yard kick return for Andre Roberts, and here comes Buffalo. Give it to Roberts on the right side. Roberts trying to find the end zone, and he's going to be swarmed and taken down a yard short of the first down, which is 2 yards short of the end zone. And it looks like it's going to be 3rd down and 1 or 2 for Andre Roberts and the Buffalo Bills. They gave it to him on a jet sweep, and he hasn't caught one yet this season. That would have been the 14th guy.
Yeah, I would imagine this play right here is going to be another passing play for Josh Allen. His completion percentage on 3rd down conversions have just been amazing all year. He's really just a lockdown guy, and when he needs to capitalize, he does.
Absolutely. And it seems like it doesn't matter the distance for this team either. Short one here, 3rd down and 2 for Buffalo, knocking on the door of the end zone. Singletary in the backfield, that's who will get it. Running to the left side, McCourty chases him down and takes him down 1 yard short of the line to gain. 4th down for the Bills, and it looks like the field goal unit and Tyler Bass should be taking the field. What a stop for this Patriots defense, Marchak.
Yeah, interesting play call right there. Of course, the defense read it well, breaking through that defensive line that's been solid for the Bills all year. So an unfortunate play for the Bills right there, and I think it would be smart for them to get that kicking unit out as they do.
And Tyler Bass had early struggles in this season, but has since really gathered himself and played phenomenal football down the stretch. His longest is 58. As I said, a shaky start for the rookie, 27 of 33 out of Utah State, but he's really gotten himself going. Hasn't missed a kick in the second half of the year. This one's up and to the left side, but it is good. So our score is 3-3 with 6:43 left in the first quarter here at Gillette Stadium. The Buffalo Bills on the board with a response, but both defenses showing up big when it matters. Kyle, we got ourselves a ball game. And did you expect anything less between these two rivals in the AFC East?
Yeah, honestly, I think the records don't matter. At the end of the day, these are two star power offenses going against really tough defenses, both really well-rounded teams. And sometimes you have to, scratch your head out how a guy like Cam Newton couldn't really lead his team. Of course, it's his first year in New England, and with a different dynamic with Coach Bill Belichick. And nonetheless, two guys you really have to worry about pretty much, on the feet, in the air. Of course, Cam Newton, not as strong as an arm as his younger counterpart, but so many different things to look at here for both defenses.
Just to talk about what a team Coach Sean McDermott and General Manager Brian Beane have assembled here for the Buffalo Bills. You acquire Stephon Diggs in a trade. You give up your first-round pick, which eventually the Minnesota Vikings got Justin Jefferson out of LSU, who's proven that he will be a star wide receiver in this National Football League. But they wanted success now, so they give up their first-round pick. They acquire Stephon Diggs in a trade. Everyone says, how about this, these rumors of an ego coming to Buffalo. He's not going to mesh. Well, everything that Buffalo has said about him has been the polar opposite. They've said he's the best teammate, he's the hardest worker, and he's the best guy to play alongside. So whether he had a gut check and really changed his ways, or Buffalo just saw him a completely different way and welcomed him a completely different way, the story has been nothing but success for the Bills so far. And it goes all the way back to Brian Beane and head coach Sean McDermott.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at the way these teams welcome their younger players. If you didn't hear the news earlier, of course, Dwayne Haskins was released from the Washington football team. And you see younger quarterbacks who really have it, the it factor. And then they come in and it's all the intangibles that fall out of place that make them a player that fails, and Josh Allen has all those intangibles that makes him the right young man. He's motivated. He's humble. If you looked at Dwayne Haskins over in Washington, he didn't really care for learning from Casey Keenum at all. And Allen, really a young athlete who's always open to learning. You can tell he's a humble young man. And that's really something that's so intangible yet so important in any young athlete looking to succeed as early as possible.
And the New England Patriots set to take the field again after the Buffalo Bills kick it off. And just to look at some of their numbers so far, Cam Newton, 2,381 passing yards. Damian Harris leads the way in rushing with 391. Jacoby Myers, the receiving leader, with 616 receiving yards. And that's the look at the offense of the New England Patriots as Tyler Bass boots one away for the Buffalo Bills. This one is deep, too far back for a return here. And the New England Patriots, led by Cam Newton, will start it off at the 25-yard line. And here comes Cam Newton as they take a look at his morning schedule on Monday Night Football here on ESPN. Looks like he wakes up very early and he goes to bed very late. So Cam Newton, a recipe for success there, I guess, as he stands under center in the shotgun right now for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, he's certainly one of the most interesting characters in football.
Handoff up the middle, and it's going to be Sony Michel once more. He gains about 3, and it's going to be 2nd down and 7 here for the New England Patriots. 6.5 minutes left to go here in the first quarter at Gillette Stadium. And this New England Patriots team for Buffalo, they're gonna want to try and force them to pass because they can run the ball with Damian Harris and Sony Michel. This is a team that really can run the ball, no doubt about it. And they can't pass the ball that well. Not stout at the wide receiver position. Cam Newton, certainly more of a mobile quarterback. As Cam Newton drops back to throw, pressure's coming on him, gets a pass up the middle, and it's tipped away, incomplete. Nearly brought in that time by Bird, but to the ground it falls, and it'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Pats.
Yeah, Cam Newton, kind of a middle-aged quarterback, or maybe even towards the latter end of his career now, and still so mobile and so athletic. And it's good to see that his playing style hasn't changed for anyone except for himself. And it's still a problem that when that pocket collapses because that O-line's really weak, it's a matter of completing those passes up the middle.
And that's more, the receiver kind of dropped it on that one, but nonetheless, 3rd down and 7. Bills showing blitz, and they will. Cam Newton can't escape the pressure. Big time sack for the Buffalo Bills, and Jefferson is the one to bring down Cam Newton on 3rd down, and the New England Patriots will be forced to punt. What a play out of that Bills defense. They sent the house, and they stormed right in the front door.
Yeah, I mean, the pass rushing on this Bills team is so dangerous. Not even a name you would expect. Of course, Hughes and Oliver, 2 guys that you would, expect to be the culprits, yet now it's the young man Jefferson coming out that right side.
And here to punt it away for the New England Patriots. Andre Roberts back. No fair catch caught. He's going to catch it at about the 25, and he'll be swarmed. He'll gain about 5 or 6 yards on the return, taken down at about the 30-yard line. That's where Josh Allen will come out. And some pushing and shoving. That's what you'd expect in an AFC East rivalry matchup like this.
Yeah, 2 teams who are super chippy, and that's what you got to love about the NFL is even a matchup where one team really has nothing to fight for except for pride, and they're still really doing everything that they can to win these games. So it's really fun to watch both these young men really going at it.
I'll tell you one thing, Kyle. These Buffalo Bills don't forget, and they are well aware of the history of this matchup. It was about 25 years of getting beat up on by the New England Patriots for these poor Buffalo Bills. And though some of these players weren't around, they've been made well aware of the history of the program. And some guys were around. There's guys that have been on the team for years and years. They remember Tom Brady slicing them up and really not being able to beat the Patriots year in and year out. So they know how much this game means, and it adds that extra chip on their shoulder. And the Buffalo Bills really a special community and a fan base, the Bills Mafia. I'm sure that the players know how much weight this game holds despite the 6-8 record on the other side.
Yeah, like I said, it's all a pride thing. I mean, you don't see it too often in sports where teams have such a long memory. I mean, but really it's like the Bills are kind of the elephant of the NFL. You can tell that every time they play, they're playing for something other than the fact that they have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and best receiving cores, being a well-rounded team and trying to get that playoff spot. They just play with that extra edge that some teams don't seem to possess right now.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. I'm a little biased. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, but I do have a belief that this team is very, very good. Let's just put it that way and put the biases aside. Although the biases are going to come out in full effect next Sunday, Marchak. You're a Dolphins fan, as you mentioned earlier in the program. And we're going to be on the call for Sunday football, kicking off at 1 o'clock as the Bills and the Dolphins go head-to-head. And there's a lot of weight that comes with that matchup as well, as the Dolphins are trying to get a playoff spot. And the Bills just, again, trying to clinch up that 2nd seed in the AFC. And really, there's a lot of weight that comes with that Dolphins game as far as who the Bills are going to play against in that first round.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and again, we go back to the AFC East, and we're talking about Josh Allen, one of the best young quarterbacks out there. And you love to see Tua Tagovailoa as a rookie catching a few starts and, taking everything in stride. Of course, if you looked at the last game, Jason Sanders came out and he was locked down from 44 yards to cap that one off against the Raiders. Certainly something you wouldn't like to see being so close. But, at the end of the day, the AFC East has been competitive as ever, despite only having 2 teams really fighting for a spot this late in the season.
Oh, absolutely. As they show, the Buffalo Bills put out a hype video, and one of the podcast hosts they had to do it. He had a hat on and a cigar, and they said, "So we'll see you in Buffalo in January. Be ready. It might be chilly." It was pretty epic. I saw it. I saw it earlier in the week, and they just played it on ESPN. But here we go. 5:18 left to go. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line from Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen drops back, pass complete to the left side. Zach Moss getting the carries this time for Buffalo, and he's taken down right at the line of scrimmage. Good pressure from the New England Patriots that time, and Zach Moss was turned away pretty quickly there. So nonetheless, the Buffalo Bills are going to face a 2nd down and 10. Interesting to see. I mean, Singletary had success on the first drive, and I said it, they might split carries here, and Zach Moss now getting the second drive, it looks like, for the Bills.
Yeah, splitting touches, and that only adds to the depth of this roster. Like you said, the receiving core is great. Obviously, Allen, the main face at quarterback, but 2 guys to worry about in the backfield.
Now Moss up the middle, breaks a tackle, and he gets swarmed around, taken down after a 5-yard gain. So it'll be 3rd down and about medium for the Buffalo Bills. But a big play once again out of the New England Patriots defense. And on the tackle that time for the New England Patriots was John Simmons. And it's 3rd down and 5. Brian Dable trying to draw something up here. It's 3-3 at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. 4:12 left to play on the clock. 18 seconds on the play clock. 3rd and 5 for Buffalo. One man in the backfield. Oh, sorry.
I apologize, but I know I was talking about the offensive cam and if he's going to be forced to throw, but it looks like the Patriots forcing Allen to throw tonight.
And a sling up the middle, incomplete off the hands of Stephon Diggs. Diggs was draped all over. He seemed to want a pass interference call against Jackson, and the referee is not going to give it to him. J.C. Jackson with some great coverage on the all-pro wide receiver Stephon Diggs. Diggs didn't really have a chance at that thing, wanted PI, not the case. So on 3rd and 5, a rare occurrence, the Buffalo Bills don't convert. And Bajorquez out to punt it away. A fake punt here, and it's complete along the right side. 1st down, Buffalo. What a play out of the special teams unit as Neal is the one to bring it home. It's an 8-yard gain for the Bills, and the drive is on.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a quick huddle right there, and right out the gate, they get it to Neal. What a play, and that's what's so exciting. Yeah, see blown coverage. They don't see the receiver going wide. A quick snap. I mean, that's as good as it gets. You see the blown coverage, covered late by the Patriots, and Neal still able to convert. That is so exciting. That's what's so fun to watch about this young team is they're willing to do anything at any chance.
Absolutely. The special teams unit for Buffalo coming up big. And Siran Neal gets the 1st down for the Buffalo Bills. It's 1st down and 10 now, 3:05 left to go, and a timeout called by the Bills because they spent a little too much time celebrating and didn't get a chance to get back to the line of scrimmage, running out of time on the play clock where the Bills and Sean McDermott elects to take a timeout. But we got ourselves a game, 3-3 here. And, Buffalo has done a really good job all season of kind of knocking teams out early, right? On that first drive for the Bills, they score a touchdown on almost every single first drive this season, with the exception of a couple of games, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now tonight against the New England Patriots. So they're 7-1 in their past 8 games, and their only loss was against the Arizona Cardinals. And if it weren't for a Hail Murray, the Bills would have won 8 straight.
Yeah, it's really interesting, all these numbers to look at. Really just, when you see success, it's expressed so well in the numbers that you're given, and 7-1 the past 8 weeks really says it.
Allen now under center. First time not in the shotgun tonight. 2 receivers stacked to the right side, 2 to the left as well. It's going to be play action fake. Allen rolling to the left side. Pass complete to Stephon Diggs, and he'll only gain 3 on that one. Nonetheless, it's still a 3-yard gain for the Buffalo Bills. Diggs with his first reception of the game today. 2nd down and 8, so they give him 2 on it. 3-3 is your score. 2:45 left to go, and the Bills have the drive on. Nearing midfield is Buffalo after a fake punt and a 1st down by Siran Neal and the Bills special teams unit. 2nd down and 8. 17 seconds left on the play clock for Buffalo. They're spot on in the middle of the field at the 50-yard line on that New England Patriots logo. 2 receivers to the right side, a handful of them to the left, and it's going to be a handoff to the left, Zach Moss. Zach Moss rumbles his way, gets maybe 3 before he's stacked up by that New England defense, and it'll be 3rd down and Schmedium once again.
Yeah, and I'd like to compliment the defense of the Patriots with McCourty leading that secondary and Hall leading that rushing defense, but both teams doing a mediocre job thus far, or both players doing a mediocre job thus far. For the Patriots, kind of trying to lead their defenses, and like I said, you have to wonder if, I was worried about the Bills being able to force Cam to throw, but now it seems, with their rushing defense being excellent thus far tonight, hindering the offensive, the dual-headed backfield of the Bills. Is Josh Allen going to have to sit in the pocket and throw tonight?
3rd down and 5. He does exactly that, and it's complete to Cole Beasley along the right side, and it looks like he's a yard short of the line to gain. So Beasley was able to make a juggling catch on the right sideline, but he's clearly a yard short. Josh Allen gets the ball to him. Beasley leads the NFL with yards from the slot receiving position. So Beasley has proven to be one of the best in the National Football League at catching balls in the slot. But it'll be 4th down and 1 for Buffalo, just past midfield. And the offense is staying on exactly as you'd expect. Sean McDermott, an extremely aggressive play caller. There's no conservative approaches in Buffalo. And here come the Bills. Josh Allen directly under center. It's going to be a fake. Right side running is Josh Allen. And there's a flag down on the field as Josh Allen is knocked out of bounds, but I don't think it'll matter. This one's coming back.
Yeah, and that's a good display right there, despite the flag that you mentioned to me. Allen, not your average QB. When he breaks out of the pocket, he's a guy that's not afraid to stiff arm, not afraid to get tackled. He's super athletic when he breaks out.
It's actually offsides on the defense, and that penalty is declined. So you just kind of see a flag with a man running down the field. You usually assume it's holding against the offense, but it is offsides against the nose tackle of the New England Patriots. So Josh Allen's big gain is going to count as he crosses the 25-yard line, knocked out of bounds at about the 24. That's where the Bills will start. They give him a hefty spot here all the way down to about the 21. So here are the Bills at the 21-yard line, 1st down and 10, 34 seconds left. Josh Allen is all alone, nobody in the backfield with him. Every receiver sent out. Allen running around, sends one towards the end zone, and it is dropped. Almost a touchdown reception that time for Buffalo, but they're unable to bring it home. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. Again, that was Tywan Jones, a tailback in for Buffalo, and you can tell they are trying to break that record because Tywan Jones also doesn't have a reception for a touchdown so far this season. That would have been 14, and it hits right off his chest. And hey, man, he's a running back. That was the 30-plus yard throw from Josh Allen, right on the money, but Jones unable to corral it. 2nd and 10, Kyle.
Yeah, just another display of their real depth right there. I know it was a missed completion, just a little bit low. Tough catch for Jones, but something he's got to complete right there.
Zach Moss rumbling his way forward, lunging across the line to gain. 1st down, Buffalo. Across the 10-yard line goes Zach Moss, and it's another chain mover for the Buffalo Bills as they're well inside New England Patriots territory, marked right at the 10-yard line, 3 seconds left in the 1st quarter. Josh Allen does end up taking the snap, sends one to the end zone, and it looks like this is picked off. C.C. Jackson with the interception for New England. There is a flag on the field, and we'll see how this goes. I think Josh Allen thought he had a free play.
Yeah, this one might come back. An interesting play right there going on the out route wide, but yeah, this one looks like it'll come back, and we'll see if the Bills can capitalize. If Josh Allen gets this one, he'll probably air it out again. Like I said, the Patriots kind of hindering that rushing offense of the Bills, so you have to wonder if Allen will be forced to throw, but at the same time, his arm is looking great so far tonight.
Yeah, and I think – yeah, so that's offside once again. Same guy at the nose tackle position for New England, just jumping off sides a couple of times now, and we try and get the name on the roster here, but that's back-to-back costly plays for Adam Butler. Nose tackle on the defensive side for the New England Patriots. Josh Allen had a free play, and that's why he saw an interception. He saw a free play. That's what you do. You throw one up on a free play. No matter what, it's either a touchdown and you can decline, or it's not caught and it doesn't cost you anything because it's, again, a free play. And that's why you saw a very gutsy throw by Josh Allen there. And that play is going to be scratched away. They'll replay the down.
Yeah, I mean, just another chance for him to air it out. And honestly, I think that'll be the look tonight. Obviously, the rushing offense hasn't been as great as you would want it to. Obviously, 2 guys to worry about in that backfield, 2 guys who can still receive if you need them to. Like I said, just a really deep roster, as you've mentioned before. And, if Allen continues to air it out downfield, it might be the name of the game for him tonight.
And that'll do it for the first quarter of action here at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And we're all knotted up 3-3 at the end of one. What a game we have for the AFC East. It's been a defensive onslaught for both teams. Not a lot of explosive offense. The Bills, though, both times they've had the ball, have driven down the field pretty methodically, to say fair enough. unable to punch it in the end zone the first time. They elect to kick a field goal with Tyler Bass. And here they are again at about the 10-yard line with an opportunity. Now they'll be at the 5 because they'll move the chains 5 yards forward, and the Bills an opportunity to punch one in the end zone.
Yeah, and I think this will be a great chance for Beasley to be found here. Like you said, he's super quick and, one of the best in the slot. I think he'll have a short route, and right there in front of him, Allen will find him. So I think there's a huge chance. Like I said, if Allen continues to air out his arm, I think he'll continue to have success tonight, and maybe even a chance for him to sneak out of the pocket. I just don't think that the rushing offense is going to be too fantastic tonight with the rushing defense of the Patriots. Hall's done a great job finding the man tonight. So certainly a good chance for Beasley right here.
Absolutely. Beasley has been phenomenal in the red zone he's really been really good at two things. Third down and long, Cole Beasley thrives. And then in the red zone, Cole Beasley thrives again. Again, Gabriel Davis leads this team in touchdown receptions with 6. Stephon Diggs is right behind him with 5. But it's just a phenomenal onslaught of talent. Cole Beasley with 4 touchdown receptions. Dawson Knox has 3. Isaiah McKenzie has 3. Tyler Croft has 3. The tailbacks have a couple. I mean, everyone's catching balls. 13 different guys has caught a touchdown pass from Josh Allen. Almost had a 14th a little bit ago. Here we go. First and goal as we begin the second quarter. The first play. Man in motion. It's Gabriel Davis faking the jet sweep. Josh Allen dropping back in the shotgun, and a delivered strike to Dawson Knox is dropped. And Buffalo Bills fans have complained about that a little bit as of late. That Dawson Knox, though we love his talent, he's dropped some big passes. And that's 2 back-to-back drops for the Bills in the end zone. What could be a touchdown on the board. A perfect ball from Josh Allen. Dawson Knox, a young player, just can't get a hold of.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's a tight end, but that's just a play you can't afford to drop. You see other guys in the AFC East like Mike Gesicki who really run their routes well and have great hands, although they're not great blockers. So you have to pick and choose your poisons here.
Second down and goal. Handoff up the middle. Zach Moss. And he stretches forward. Touchdown, Buffalo. The first tutty on the board here tonight goes to the Buffalo Bills, and they'll stretch this lead 9-3 now. An opportunity to make it 10 with a PAT by Tyler Bass. But Zach Moss just ran his way forward, found the hole, and saw the goal line.
Yeah, and if you look at that play there, you saw Hall jump the wrong gap, getting baited to the right. And with that, Moss doing a great job, finding the hole and cutting to his right and, forced into the end zone, whether or not a Patriot found him.
The rookie for the Buffalo Bills, Zach Moss, that's going to be his 4th touchdown this season. Tyler Bass has the PAT up and good. So the rookie runs it in for the tutty, and the rookie puts the PAT up. This is a young Buffalo Bills team who continue to find ways to win and find success. It's 10-3 at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The Buffalo Bills lead it. And Kyle, it's funny, again, Buffalo Bills, they just have a grit for the New England Patriots, right? They have it out for them after all those struggles with Tom Brady running the show in New England. And the Buffalo Bills won a NFL Fox sweepstakes, basically voting contest thing of who's the best fans in the NFL. And Bills fans, Bills Mafia, they showed out, they won the competition. And the reward was a billboard in any town of your choosing. So you got to think if, the Packers win it, they want to put one in Chicago near the Bears Stadium or vice versa, or all these different rivalries. Well, where do the Bills Mafia fans choose? They choose none other than Foxborough, Massachusetts, right down the street from the New England Patriots Gillette Stadium. And that's where a billboard stands that says the Buffalo Bills are the greatest fans in the National Football League. So if that's not a rivalry, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I mean, that's as good as it gets, Gio. And honestly, I'm not even sure if that struggle is unique to the Bills because almost every other team in the AFC East has that same type of hate for the Patriots. My grandfather instilled me on a great set of morals and values on being a true Dolphins fan. And one of those morals is to hate the New England Patriots. As much as respect as I have for Tom Brady, a successful young man, he really knows how to throw the ball. You got to hate the Patriots and their success. It's a jealousy thing. And obviously Bills Mafia has that. I'd imagine the Finn squad does as well. And the Jets, as bad as they are, certainly hate the success or the recent success of the Patriots, despite Cam Newton's lack of success this year. So certainly great to see the Patriots, falling down a little bit. Of course, not awesome for them to look at. They certainly have a bunch of bright spots to fix. At the end of the day, the rivalries are deep here in the AFC East.
Yeah, I'd make the argument that, every division's like that, but when you have a powerhouse at the head of your division, and there it is, they're showing it on the TV right there. Bills fans made the drive to Foxborough just to take pictures with the billboard, and there it stands, real close to the Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, where the New England Patriots play ball. So I think that's pretty cool right there.
That's as good as it gets, really.
You'd think they'd pick to put it in Buffalo. You'd think, nope. They decided to put it in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Doesn't get any better.
Oh, yeah.
14:50 to go. Bills lead it 10-3. And 12 seconds here on the play clock. They get to kick off. And a return here is halted by the Buffalo Bills special teams unit. A big tackle. Saron Neal, back-to-back big plays for this Bills special team. He caught the pass on the fake punt, and now he wraps up the return man in the backfield for Buffalo. And the New England Patriots are going to start inside their own 10-yard line, Kyle.
Oh, yeah, certainly a good start for the Bills right there. Really just jumping through that special teams defense of the Patriots. And Neal, what a kid to watch. Certainly a guy, hopefully he'll get more touches on the not the special teams if he continues to play like this, but at the end of the day, another kid to watch out for in the Bills.
There was nowhere for Dante Moncrief to go on that kick return. 10-3 is your score. Cam Newton handoff up the middle. Sony Michel, he'll gain about 1, but he is absolutely smothered. And the big hit that time from Matt Milano at the linebacker position for the Buffalo Bills. 2nd down and long now for New England.
And again, another thing to note here is that both teams trying early to rely on their rushing offense, yet they're both halted. Both teams' rushing defenses have been excellent so far tonight.
2nd and 8 for Cam Newton and company. Receiver in motion to the right side. Cam Newton fakes the pitch, play action. Pass up the middle is knocked away by Tre'Davious White. And there is a flag on the floor. Tre'Davious White certainly pleading his case here. Bird was the intended receiver, and we'll listen to it, but Tre'Davious White doesn't want this penalty. White, a all-pro cornerback for the Buffalo Bills, just picked to the Pro Bowl for the 2nd year in a row, and we'll listen to the call. And he's got to be careful here that he doesn't pick up another flag because he did not like that call, but it is pass interference against Tre'Davious White on Bird, and that's costly because it would have been 3rd down and long for New England. Now they get a free 1st down, and, I'm not gonna argue with the ref here. It looks like he makes a little bit of contact prior to the ball getting to Bird, and it's a 1st down New England. I think that's a good call. What are your thoughts, Marchak?
Yeah, White jumped in a little bit early here. Obviously very aggressive. One of the more excellent cornerbacks in the NFL with 8 interceptions this year, one of the league leaders. So certainly a guy to watch out for, but he has to watch his words right now.
And a pitch to the left side as White gets about 8 for New England, and that was a big play out of James White, who had the game-winning touchdown against the Atlanta Falcons in that historic comeback years ago. Still a big part of the New England Patriots program at the running back position, and he gets a big play that time for the Patties. So it's going to be 2nd down and 2 for Cam Newton and company. They got the ball at their own 25-yard line, handoff up the middle, a 1st down, and much more for Sony Michel, using his leg muscles up across the 30-yard line, down at about the 32. It's a gain of 8 for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, great play right there. Kind of just forced up the middle. But again, something to note, that's pretty much the longest running play we've seen from either teams thus far. Both completely really relying on their quarterback's arms and how excellent they'll be tonight. Of course, Cam Newton, not the guy to come to if you're trying to get that ball all the way downfield. Certainly more of an athletic guy who can break out of the pocket.
2 receivers to the right side, and it's going to be a wide receiver screen to Bird. Makes one man miss, and he goes out of bounds up across the 30-yard line, and that was a good play out of Bird and the New England Patriots as they continue to just get little plays here. 5 yards here, 3 yards here, and the chains have moved once. They'll look to do it again. 2nd down and 3. The chains have actually moved twice. This would be the 3rd time to do so. 2nd and 3 for Cam Newton and New England. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Cam Newton's going to take it himself on the quarterback keeper and goes nowhere. Maybe a yard that time for Cam Newton. The Bills read it the whole way. 3rd and short, we will go.
And it's just a shame to see. That's usually a play that Cam Newton can just excel on, but he seems to be hindered more and more on plays like that where he tries to run it wide.
10-3's your score. Pitch to the left side, Sony Michel. Michel with some room to run. First down and more. Across the 50-yard line goes Sony Michel. Down at the 40 in Buffalo territory. What a run out of Sony Michel and the New England Patriots as they are driving Marchak.
Yeah, the O-line really getting that team to bait to the right, and Michel cutting to the left, finding a gap in the inside, spinning another man out. He's real athletic, and once he gets his space, he's a guy to worry about. It's just a matter of if he's going to get those short runs up the middle. I think that really hinders his ability because he's more of a guy that needs open space created for him. When he rolls wide to the right or left, he's certainly a guy to worry about.
1st and 10 from the 40 for New England in Buffalo territory. Cam Newton, handoff up the middle again, a burst of speed, and it's a huge play for the New England Patriots. Out to the 10-yard line goes Taylor, and the New England Patriots are running all over this Buffalo Bills defense tonight.
Yeah, this time it's Taylor. We see here one of the middle linebackers kind of baiting to the left, and then Taylor jumping the gap to the right, and he certainly made a man miss up the middle.
J.J. Taylor, again, handoff up the middle. He'll get about 3 before being taken down. The ball was initially marked at the 12-yard line. He gets across the 10. It's going to be 2nd down and 7. Taylor comes out. James White now comes in for the Patriots, and they're just cycling through different running backs here for the Patties. One gets a little tired, get another one in. They're that deep at the tailback spot.
Yeah, we see Taylor only 5'6", 185. That explains him being so shifty.
And we talked about this. Buffalo wanted to force New England to throw the ball. But if you can't stop the run, you can't force them to throw. Here the Patties are in the red zone. Cam Newton dropping back, pressure coming. Cam can't escape it. He does. He escapes the tackler, nearly fell to the ground. Now Cam running towards the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots. And that just shows off the size of Cam Newton. He's 6'6", over 230 pounds, and he avoided a grown man tackle. It's a 9-yard touchdown run for the Pats.
Yeah, it's his 12th of the season rushing into the end zone. I mean, Houdini's in the house tonight if you're going to continue to make plays like that. 6'6", but he evades the pressure and then, makes another man miss, cutting into the inside, and he finds the end zone. What a play right there from Cam Newton.
It looked like Phillips had him down without a doubt. I mean, he was almost to the ground. He's able to avoid it, rushes away. The Bills didn't have anyone spying him, and it's a touchdown with a PAT to even things up from Folk, and he missed it. Left. Pushed it too far wide left, and the Bills know what wide left means because in their first Super Bowl appearance in 1990, that's exactly what happened. Wide left went Scott Newman, and the Bills lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. But if you look on the bright side, that's 4 AFC championships. So nonetheless, it's a ball game here at Gillette Stadium. It's 10-all, or excuse me, no, it's not. It's 10-9 after the missed PAT from Falk. So the Bills hold the lead, Kyle. Whoa, what a series of events that drive was, because the penalty was costly for New England, or it's costly for Buffalo. New England able to take advantage of it, drive down the field. The run was very effective, and they punch it in the end zone for 6.
Yeah, I mean, with 2 offenses like these where there's so much depth, obviously we saw guys rotating in the backfield for the Bills and the Patriots, and 2 quarterbacks with, half decent arms at the least, and, they can really run it. What else do you expect? Chaos will ensue when you have guys like that who man their offense, not afraid to move the chains on any play possible. Really exciting football right here.
Yeah, this is turning out to be an exciting game here, and I don't know if anyone expected anything less. I didn't. The Bills come out, they blow out the Denver Broncos a week ago on Saturday, so the Bills haven't played in about 9 days. They blow out the Broncos, but I mean, you have to think with this game, with these 2 names, these 2 teams, it was going to be an absolute dogfight, and it's proven to be so as we inch near halftime a little bit here. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, they're going to get the ball back. What do you think they're going to look to do?
Yeah, I mean, Allen's been doing well downfield with the arm. Obviously, 2 guys to worry about in the backfield. Like I mentioned, for the Bills, huge depth, but I think their core is just too good and too well spread out not to go to. Obviously, you saw them kind of forcing a play to that right side to that young man who would have been the 14th different face to see with a touchdown in this Bills roster. So, obviously they're going for records. This is not your average Bills team. They're going to be an AFC contender and certainly a Super Bowl contender too if they continue to play like this. Of course, they have to separate themselves from the average teams like Cam Newton's Patriots.
Absolutely. And Cam Newton proved to be a NFL quarterback on that drive. Some of that was in question, and he leads right now with the record for most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in a single season. In 2011, his MVP season, he had 14 rushing touchdowns. Today, he has 12, and Steve Largent is behind him with 12 as well. So Cam Newton holds the record, possibly trying to break his own record with half of a game today and a Week 17 matchup next week as well. 10-9's your score. Buffalo leads it by 1 after Folk push one wide left. On the PAT, Andre Roberts lets this bounce out of the back of the end zone, and the Buffalo Bills will start at the 25-yard line. Look at the...
And yeah, here we look at the AFC playoff picture. Yeah, it's certainly a mess with the AFC playoff picture. That's why even small games like this, Bills-Patriots, it's going to matter because if the Bills win today, they're even separating themselves more from other teams like the Titans, Dolphins, and Ravens, who are all fighting for spots right now. Titans, luckily a division leader, but again, we have 10-5 teams who are all fighting for spots, and the Colts still in the hunt as well.
Yep, so the Steelers advanced to that second spot after a win yesterday against the Colts. If the Bills win tonight, they would take over that second spot again because they have the tiebreaker with the Pittsburgh Steelers because they beat them just a few weeks ago. So the Bills fighting for that second seed. Pass up the middle, Josh Allen. Dawson Knox didn't drop that one. Caught at the 50-yard line on first down. Here comes Buffalo. Look at that cannon from Josh Allen to Dawson Knox.
Yeah, and a good redemption right there for Knox. Up the middle, huge play, a lot of yards on that one, and his hands on display there. You can tell he's not a blocking tight end. He's a guy who can really make big plays, and I'm glad to see it over the top of that defensive back right there. A great play from Josh Allen.
Look at Allen just put it in a spot that only his tight end can catch it, right? Puts it right over the head of the linebacker in the secondary. I mean, that's a phenomenal throw. Putting biases aside, that's a good throw right there. First down for Buffalo from their own 49-yard line. Josh Allen facing pressure, trots back, and this one just thrown in the area of Cole Beasley, essentially thrown away. Josh Allen put it at the feet of Beasley to really avoid any kind of call for illegal grounding, intentional grounding, I should say, and it'll be second down and 10 for the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, even on small plays like that, Josh Allen rolls out wide, and he knows what to do. He has great poise for a young man who's had this much success thus far, and he's really leading this Bills offense, and I'm looking forward to how this develops in Week 17 and eventually the playoffs.
So here they go on second down and 10. Trips to the left side, all stacked, but it's going to be a handoff up the middle, and Singletary gets about 2. That's it. It'll be third down and long for Buffalo.
Yeah, very deceptive offense to read. The Bills have so many different threats in the receiving core, 2 guys in the backfield, and of course, Josh Allen. So many things to look at here.
Third down and 8. 9:28 left to go on the game clock. 9:28 left in the second quarter. Clock continues to wind. 18 seconds on the play clock. Josh Allen looking to the sideline in the shotgun. Trips to the left side, stacked receivers, 1 to the right. 1 man in the backfield with them at Singletary. Josh Allen drops back. New England showing a lot of pressure. Pass complete to the left side. Cole Beasley lunging his way forward, taken down shy of the first down marker. That'll be fourth down for Buffalo. He was close, but he was about a yard or 2 short.
Yeah, good stretch right there, but Beasley, really athletic, like you said, in the slot, but not super huge. So when he gets the ball, you're not going to see too many yards after contact. Still one of the best slot receivers in the NFL, if not the AFC at least, to mention, and certainly a guy to watch out for tonight.
Leads the NFL in receiving yards at the slot receiver position. So it's fourth down and 2. You know, Sean McDermott's going to go for it every time. Past midfield. Here come the Bills from the 41-yard line of New England. Allen looking deep. Gabriel Davis complete along the left side. Touchdown, Buffalo. And the rookie hauls it in for the Bills, but it looks like they're stopping play. There might have been a flag.
Hopefully it's not called back. Davis almost creating a blown coverage right there. Certainly just faster than his defensive counterpart, and Allen found him over the top, but he's not looking happy right now.
Still awaiting a call. There's no flag signaled, but everybody stopped. There was no celebration, and Josh Allen doesn't look happy. So I'm not sure exactly what the call is.
Yeah, no animation.
And that's what it was. Bill Belichick called it. Belichick called the timeout right before the snap.
Trying to ice the quarterback there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, so Belichick will do that. He's a sneaky guy, one of the best in the National Football League ever. Plain and simple. Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches of all time. There's no doubt about it. And he pulls another fast one that time. What was 6 for Buffalo. Yeah. Calls a timeout just before. And I don't think any of the players on the field really knew it until whistles were blown. You know, whatever it is, it's 4th down and 2 for Buffalo. Here they go. So trips to the right side, 2 receivers to the left. Here comes Josh Allen trotting back in the shotgun. Pass complete up the middle, and it's a big one, and it's Dawson Knox again. 1st down, Buffalo.
Yeah, Allen with pressure evading on him, and he's rolling to his left a little bit, has to step up in the pocket, and not a tight spiral. Maybe a hand got caught on it, but Knox finding it right there.
Again, just getting it over everybody, putting in a spot where only Dawson Knox can catch it. That's a big throw out of Josh Allen and a humongous catch out of the tight end, Dawson Knox. The Bills are able to move the chains 1st and 10 from the New England Patriots 31-yard line. Josh Allen in the shotgun, dropping back, looking deep left side. Stephon Diggs reaches out for it, and over his head it goes. Getting a little mouthy here with Jackson. They're going back and forth, Diggs pointing in his face. And we're getting a little chippy. You wouldn't expect anything less. 2nd and 10 for Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, these guys are really chippy. Everyone's fighting for pride and, just playoff hopes, trying to set up a better spot for the Bills. But Diggs, one of the more animated faces in this really deep receiving core of the Bills, certainly had his fair amount of antics throughout this game, just like Bill Belichick, another guy who taken very seriously, a high quality, of course, not a player, a coach, but still has his fair amount of antics that really separates him from the rest.
Now it's going to be handoff up the middle for the Bills, and Singletary is stopped, pushed backwards by Hall. Hall became a brick wall that time for New England. It'll be 3rd down and long. Singletary gained about 2 or 3. It'll be about 3rd and 7 or 8 for Buffalo.
Yeah, Hall, middle linebacker, and kind of a leader of this defense tonight for the Patriots. Of course, without Stephon Gilmore, there's going to be some impact on the secondary, but nonetheless, Hall doing his job for the rushing defense.
And that's a big play for New England as Buffalo leads at 10-9, 7:08 left to go. Clock continues to wind before halftime. 3rd down and 7. Josh Allen in the shotgun, trip receiver stacked to the right side. Allen dropping back, pressure coming. He's able to evade it. He's going to run up the middle. He's got a 1st down and more, and Allen elects to go down. Smart play by Josh Allen as he crosses the 20 near the 15-yard line. 1st down, Buffalo.
Yeah, some young quarterbacks just have to learn how to slide a little bit or get down. Not something you see too often from a guy like Josh Allen, who's super athletic, great arm and great feet. And usually when he breaks free, you'll see him try and get a stiff arm or something wide. But that time elects to go down, a smart play. You can't afford to have a young guy like him getting injured. So, even him, with this lead right now, might be taking it a little bit easy early on in this game.
17-yard line is where the Bills have it. 1st down and 10, 6:17 left to go and 5 seconds left on the play clock. Allen snaps his hands and the ball is dropped back to him. Pass to the left side, wide receiver screen. Isaiah McKenzie. McKenzie, a burst of speed, crossing the 5-yard line, knocked out of bounds at the 4. And that's how close the Bills are to the end zone now.
Yeah, interesting play right there. McKenzie from the backfield, really right behind Allen is where he starts. And with a little jet sweep motion, he's wide open for an option right there. You see everyone covered. So Allen kind of reading the option right there and finding his man wide left right there. A great play from Allen. But just another thing you see that's just such an intangible in this young man is his ability to read the field. It's really fantastic, Gio.
Checks it down to Isaiah McKenzie. Isaiah McKenzie, one of the fastest guys on this Buffalo Bills squad. And the Bills knocking on the door of the end zone from the 4-yard line. Play action fake. Allen scaling the field. Pass complete. Touchdown Lee Smith and touchdown Buffalo. Wide open was the tight end, and the Bills extend this lead.
These boys are fired up, and the Bills trying to extend this lead, and hopefully they'll get that extra point. Of course, the Patriots have struggled with that thus far, but this is just another thing that separates the Bills from the rest, is the ability to get touchdowns to everyone on this squad. We saw Knox, their other tight end, get some catches, and now Lee Smith getting up there.
It was a 4-yard touchdown grab, pitch and catch between Josh Allen and a wide open Lee Smith, drawn up by Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator, I should say. And that's exactly how the Bills wanted that thing to play out. There wasn't anybody within 10 yards of Lee Smith, and Tyler Bass's PAT is up and good. The lead continues for Buffalo, 17-9, 5:32 left to go in the second quarter. And that was a big drive for Buffalo. Every time they've had the ball, they've just driven down the field on this New England defense, Kyle.
Yeah, despite that first drive, I mean, Allen's just so poised in every situation. Like we saw on that initial play beforehand, he's so good at reading the field, getting it wide when he needs to. And honestly, the receiving core is so deep. And, there's so many guys to look at. Even his tailbacks can get out there and make some plays happen. You see Lee Smith, one of the bigger tight ends on the roster. He finds himself wide open in the end zone. Allen's poise is just unbelievable, and really one of the more well-rounded and underrated quarterbacks in the NFL, despite his big name being such a young face.
Couldn't agree with you more, Kyle. And the New England Patriots will look to respond. Still a one-possession ball game. Buffalo leads it by 8 after Folk couldn't get a PAT to go. That's why the lead's 17-9 instead of 17-10, Kyle. So if you're New England, you got 5.5 minutes to play with, Bill Belichick and company. So what are you trying to do on this drive? I say you have to hit the running attack once more.
Yeah, I was going to say it's tough to tell, because obviously it's the goal of the Bills to kind of force Cam Newton to throw it downfield. We know he doesn't have a huge arm, so it's kind of expected from the Pats to try and force that running game up the middle. I think now's a chance to try and dabble it up, though, because as you saw, the rushing defense of the Bills has been doing fantastic thus far. Only a couple big plays out of Sony Michel and the Patriots. So, of course, Cam Newton's a guy that's a threat in his feet. Of course, like we said, not a huge arm. So a lot of things to look at, but you're absolutely right. Certainly going to be on the ground for the Patriots here on this next drive.
5.5 minutes to go, and that's 5.5 extra minutes of football. Buffalo leads it 17-9. And Kyle, just to talk a little bit, get off topic a little bit, how bummed were you about SU basketball being canceled? Not canceled, postponed for now. That was kind of our thing. We were hitting every game. 3 games postponed up to this point. Now today they announced that New York State changed its quarantine guideline from 14 days to 10 days. So that means maybe the SU basketball team might get that North Carolina matchup back, but definitely disappointing to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, that's a part of the chaos of the COVID season here in college basketball. There's a lot of different faces to miss out on. Of course, we open up the season without Buddy Boeheim and stuff like that, but it's certainly tough here at Orange Heat. Of course, that's your name of the game and something that I've always enjoyed being a part of as well. But we have to stick to the NFL for now, right, Gio?
Absolutely, and I'm not complaining either. So now Dante Moncrief with a kick return, and he crosses the 21-yard line before being taken down by the Bills special team unit. It looked like it was Jordan Poyer on the tackle for the Bills. And at about the 21 is where Cam Newton and company will start here. Sony Michel has been a force in the running game so far tonight. Just looking at some of his highlights, Kyle, this guy can really run coming out of Georgia a few years ago.
Yeah, Michel's really he's kind of been a star with a couple big plays early on. But how about the guards for the Patriots? Their O-line has been excellent, and that's what's created these big plays up the middle and out wide for their tailbacks.
1st and 10 for Cam Newton at the 21-yard line. He stands directly under center. Only 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left and 1 to the right. And play action fake. Cam Newton looking up the middle. Pass is complete to N'Keal Harry, and he gets about 2. It looked like he was going to spin off it and maybe run again, but Poyer took him down. N'Keal Harry out of Arizona State just a few years ago, and he's panned out for New England to prove to be pretty solid wide receiver. Played at Arizona State for the Sun Devils, was one of the best in the Pac-12. 2nd down and 7, 5:03 left to go in the half. Cam Newton drops back, pressure coming. Jerry Hughes laid a hit, and it forced an incomplete pass. N'Keal Harry was the intended receiver. Jerry Hughes didn't let Cam Newton get it close.
Yeah, Hughes and Oliver, the two guys to look out for this pass rushing, excuse me, for the Bills. And obviously, the rushing defense has been excellent, but that's what the Patriots will have to rely on because, of course, Cam Newton not with a huge arm, so certainly an odd dynamic to see offensively here for the Patriots.
3rd down and 7, 4:57 left to go here. Clock stopped for the moment. Bills lead at 17-9. Here comes Cam Newton in the shotgun. Cam Newton drops back, pass up the middle, nearly intercepted by Jordan Poyer and knocked away. So the New England Patriots are going to be forced to punt it here. And Cam Newton couldn't get that one up the seam. Big play by the Bills defense and Jordan Poyer. So it looks like New England is going to have to punt this ball away back to the Bills. And Poyer was the one to deflect it away. 4th down and 7. Jake Bailey here to send it off to Andre Roberts, the kick returner for Buffalo, and an all-pro one at that. Roberts back deep to return, just past the 30-yard line, and he'll elect to take it out. And just crossing the 30, almost at the 35, he's taken down. Not much running room that time. And that's where Josh Allen will start this drive with under 5 minutes to go here. Still plenty of time on the clock for the Bills to extend this lead.
Yeah, I think the Bills will continue to air it out like they've done. Like you said, deep receiving core. Beasley's really good in the slot, so he gets you those extra yards. And even then, he's a smaller guy, but so chippy, not afraid to stretch for those yards after contact, just like everyone else in this Bills roster. And that's what's so easy to love about them is every single guy in this team does what they can and capitalizes with their opportunities. We even see Lee Smith, one of the lesser athletic guys on the squad, but a tight end nonetheless, and found himself wide open in the end zone in that previous drive. And the Bills looking to get back in the red zone as quick as possible. And Allen, certainly the guy to do it.
Lee Smith caught a touchdown pass last week for Buffalo against the Denver Broncos. Did it again today. And Lee Smith has proven to be really efficient for the Bills in the red zone so far this season. So is Dawson Knox. You just mentioned it yourself. This Bills receiving core goes deep. And Lee Smith, more of a blocking tight end. Big guy. Bigger than Dawson Knox for sure. Bigger than most tight ends. More of a blocking guy, but when he can shy away and catch a pass or two, it's effective for Buffalo as well, Kyle. So now if you're Josh Allen and company and Sean McDermott and Brian Dable, what are you trying to do for Buffalo? Are you trying to kind of kill the rest of this clock and not give New England another possession, or just score as fast as possible?
Yeah, I think honestly the latter of those two options is what you would expect out of this team. Super chaotic and sporadic offense, but always, like you said, there's never a conservative approach about them. They're always aggressive. They're always there to play. A lot of quick huddles, or we've even seen a couple no huddles. They're aggressive on 4th and 3rd down opportunities. We saw that punt opportunity where they fake the play out wide to Neal. One stat to look at is there's 9 different guys on the stat sheet under yards for receiving tonight, going down to even a couple guys with only a couple on their list. Diggs only a couple yards receiving, but so many different faces to worry about. I mean, there's tons and tons of guys in this team that you have to worry about out in the air. And even then, you still have 2 or at least 3 guys in the backfield who can run it as well. And that's just what's so exciting about this chaotic offense of the Buffalo Bills.
Absolutely. And the Buffalo Bills now coming out, Josh Allen has hit Stephon Diggs to break the record for most receptions in a Buffalo Bills single season ever. So Stephon Diggs comes, and in year number 1, he breaks the single season receiving record, and he leads the NFL in receptions so far this season as well. 17-9 is your score at Gillette Stadium. The Bills lead it. 4:42 left to go. 1st and 10 for Josh Allen and company. Dropping back, lets one go, incomplete, nearly intentional grounding, but he was well out of the tackle box. And it was a good pressure that time by New England. Josh Allen able to get it away. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, you don't see that too often where Allen gets he's trying to evade the pressure and then certainly panics. I think he had that wide receiver screen set up wide nonetheless, but he read the play well and he chose what he chose. At the end of the day, Chase Vinovich not happy with that play. He thought he got that sack in his back pocket, but nonetheless, Allen with an interesting choice right there.
Allen dropping back now, 2nd down and 10. Pass complete. There's Stephon Diggs. Across the 50-yard lines goes Diggs. And there he is. You didn't think he would hide forever, Marchak. With 4.5 minutes to go, he makes his first chunk play.
Yeah, that's his first big one tonight. He's obviously one of the better route runners in the AFC East, finds himself wide open with a little slant or maybe an out route on that left side. And Allen has the poise to find him. His O-line hasn't been too fantastic tonight, but getting the job done nonetheless is Stephon Diggs.
And it's a gain of about 15 yards for Buffalo as they'll take it at the 50-yard line. Exactly. Injury timeout on the field for the New England Patriots. Again, you never like to see it. Always unfortunate to see. And it looks like they'll step away for a moment on the Monday Night Football coverage that we are currently viewing, Kyle. But Bills, again, just kind of just moving down the field again. Josh Allen just looks so poised back there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for a young guy, you would not expect it. It's kind of staggering how calm he looks in the pocket. Even for a guy whose pocket kind of collapses on him, that might be the only weakness of this Bills team is a lack of strength at the O-line position. Of course, it's not the worst O-line in the AFC East. We've seen a lot weaker O-lines, but, if you're looking at all the other strength of this Bills team, the O-line is not one of them. And so while that improves, Allen will be maybe less mobile, but for now, his mobility is certainly not hindering them, as he's a guy who can evade pressure and still get the throw off, certainly better than most quarterbacks in the NFL today. So certainly a lot of things to appreciate about this young man.
Absolutely, Marchak. So looking at the landscape for the Buffalo Bills, a win today would clinch the second seed in the AFC. Then they have a matchup against the Miami Dolphins next week. Tell me a little bit about what to expect for that game.
Well, again, two young faces to watch. Both teams fighting for their positions in the playoffs. As a matter of fact, the Dolphins will be fighting for a position in the playoffs, period. And of course, the Bills just trying to advance to that possible 2-seed spot. Tua Tagovailoa, another guy who coming in and out of the lineup has kind of taken it in stride. I mentioned Dwayne Haskins earlier over with the Washington football team released, a guy that is an exemplary of taking his faults in stride, wasn't humble, wasn't happy with his performance and didn't take it in stride, where Tua Tagovailoa has really, gotten under the wing of this vet and Ryan Fitzpatrick, or, Fitzmagic is what we're calling him as of late, as we saw that final drive a couple nights ago. So a lot of star power on both teams to watch, and both teams fighting for something. So I think that'll be the most purposeful game. In week 17, it's what you kind of expect from two teams fighting for playoff spots. And, it's going to be certainly exciting. Two of the best secondaries in the NFL, or at least the AFC East. So going to be a lot of strengths and weaknesses to play at, and certainly an odd dynamic between both teams. But for now, the Patriots still fighting to stay in this game against the Bills, Gio.
Yeah, and it's a good one. And I'm very excited for next week's matchup. It means that much more with what's happening with the playoff picture. So definitely an exciting one to see next week. I think the Dolphins are extremely dangerous, and it goes down to that defense, man. I think that's one of the best, if not the best defenses in the AFC and the entire NFL. So I don't want to play against that defense if I'm Buffalo. It's going to be a good game. 17-9, though, is your score here at Gillette Stadium. Buffalo leads it over New England. 4:07 left to go. First down and 10 for New England at the 50-yard line. Josh Allen in the shotgun, drops back, pass complete. Stephon Diggs, nothing but green in front, and touchdown Buffalo. The connection, the pitch and catch between Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, 50 yards, and the Bills extend this lead.
There we go. Diggs finally finding himself there up the middle, and look at the breakout speed. He gets it and he's gone. No contact needed. Stephon Diggs. Big play right there.
And the Bills just keep driving forward every single time they get the football. They're able to march down the field and put points up on the board. Look at Josh Allen. Poise in the pocket, pressure coming, hit as he throws, but he hits his all-pro wideout Stephon Diggs, and it was green in front for Stephon Diggs. Touchdown, Buffalo. Tyler Bass, the PAT, is up and right down the middle. 24-9 is the lead for Buffalo. It's close early, Kyle, but the Bills certainly starting to pull away a bit here.
Yeah, kind of what you expect. Allen, usually a guy who starts off with a touchdown in his first drive, but nonetheless, once he warms up, it's it. I mean, his arm is as good as it gets, really, for a young man like him. He's mobile. He doesn't have a great O-line, so he really fits the dynamic of this team, where he needs to be able to move in the pocket and evade pressure. And as contact is collapsing on him, he literally threads the needle. I mean, that's as good as it gets. J.C. Jackson is really the best defensive back on this Patriots squad, and nonetheless, he can't catch Stephon Diggs with that great slant route right there. And that's as good as it gets in this passing offense of the Buffalo Bills.
Now Stephon Diggs has a new Buffalo Bills record for the most receiving yards in a season now with 1,383. So he had already broken the record for most receptions. Now he eclipses it for receiving yards as well. History in Orchard Park and Buffalo for Stefon Diggs and company. What a big play that was, 50 yards. And it really hasn't, Diggs is very good, but a lot of his receptions haven't been huge chunk plays like that. For touchdowns anyways, a lot of them are in the red zone because the Bills kind of methodically move down the field. So to see a 50-yarder is certainly exciting to say the least, but Tyler Bass boots this one away. Dante Moncrief on the return, taken down at the 24-yard line. Flags are down on the field, though, and some chippy play ensues.
Yeah, it's getting chippy again. These young boys all really fired up, especially the Bills right now. I mean, they've got to be happy with the way they're playing. And we see Winovich on the other side for the Patriots. He likes to talk, and he's certainly got a lot of flow too. So looking like a confident young man for the Patriots. The hair has been fantastic tonight, Gio, on both sides. How about Cole Beasley too, right?
Yeah, Cole Beasley's got the curls. Former Dallas Cowboy. He's got the long flow.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I think Winovich has got him beat. That's some sunshine Trevor Lawrence hair right there.
Oh yeah, no, that's pretty much as good as it gets. A lot of good stuff to look at in this game.
Yeah, no, that's some great hair from Winovich, and there's a flag on the field. Didn't catch the call, but we'll get at you in a second once we see where the ball is spotted, whether it's against Buffalo or New England. But Stefon Diggs showed up big in the second half against Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago, played big against Denver, and continuing that success. The Bills are just clicking at the best time of the year, December football. That's when you want to be at your highest peak. Hand off to the right side. Sony Michel gets about one. And J.C. Jackson on the sideline. I mean, he has to be frustrated. He's played a good game, and he's one of the best on this New England Patriots team, because if they assign you Stefon Diggs, you're one of the best in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Plain and simple. And Jackson has had a couple of fine plays himself as Cam Newton rolls out to the right side looking to throw. Instead, he's going to run for it. And what a big hit there by Jordan Poyer. He looks a little dazed as he gets up. That's a big boy in Cam Newton. So to go at him head first, that's a football. That's a big man play right there.
Oh yeah, I mean, both men kind of hit a brick wall right there. Poyer trying to take out Cam Newton. Of course, Cam Newton, one of those guys that's not afraid to take a hit, not afraid to stiff arm a guy every once in a while. Really one of the better sized and more athletic quarterbacks in the NFL. And at 6'6", that's not an easy play to make. Poyer a little shaken up, but glad to see him taking a second. He'll get back on the field soon enough.
The guy's 245 pounds, Cam Newton. I mean, he's a monster at the quarterback position. And I'm sorry, but Poyer, I mean, you were asking for it, man. He looks shaken up. He's a team captain on this team. It's his 8th season for the Buffalo Bills. And my fear is a concussion, because it was a little bit of helmet to helmet.
Oh, yeah.
And, Poyer made the hit, but he's smaller, and it showed. Handoff up the middle. First down now for New England as Sony Michel takes it. They take Poyer's helmet, and he doesn't look pleased. When they take your helmet, it's concussion protocol time. Yeah,
that's unfortunate. You can tell he's not pleased with that. Coming from 8 years ago when concussion protocol wasn't as strict, it might be certainly a new look for him.
Now, quarterback keeper for Cam Newton. He'll rumble his way for about 7 out to about the 30-yard line. Go the New England Patriots, and they're getting a little bit of a drive going here with 2.5 minutes to play. Clock continues to wind here in the first half.
Yeah, 2nd and 3 right here. This is going to, I know it seems short, but this is really a huge conversion for the Patriots, trying to get downfield within that, at least field goal range soon enough. And Cam Newton maybe airing it out right here.
2nd and 3, 2 minutes to go on the game clock for New England. Cam Newton in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the left side, and a timeout is called on the field. That's a 2-minute warning. So 2 minutes left to go here in the first half. Buffalo with a huge lead now over New England, 24-9. But we'll see how these last 2 minutes shake out before the teams head into the locker rooms. Kyle, New England putting together a little bit of a drive here. I think that they could possibly get this thing down the field in 2 minutes. It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Yeah, honestly, it's certainly a sporadic offense with their leader being Cam Newton, the guy that's not afraid to run it quick. Like we said, one of the more mobile guys in the NFL, despite his size. I mean, one thing to note is he's far too mobile for 245 pounds. And that's always something to know. Even on those keeper plays, he gained about 6 or 7 on that play. And that's just one of those small things that'll get him upfield. But honestly, it does come down to his arm. the Bills will force him to throw, and his arm isn't as fantastic downfield. So it's going to be interesting to see if he completes downfield, he can keep the Pats in this game. But thus far, it's not looking like it. So I think this 2-minute drill right here, where he's going to air it out for sure, it's going to be kind of telling of the future success in this second half for the Pats as well.
Yeah, it's shaping out to be a good one here in Gillette Stadium. The Bills pulling away as the second half continues to progress, but New England looking for a response here with 2 minutes left. So just to give everyone a little bit of excitement, a special announcement coming at halftime that I will be revealing at halftime. So just stay tuned, and a special announcement coming at halftime. But we got 2 minutes left to go here between the Bills and the Patties here on Monday Night Football. Kyle, can you believe it? We're calling Monday Night Football. This is our dream, right? We obviously the goal is to be in a booth calling this on a major network someday, but we're calling Monday Night Football. Hustle is real, and it doesn't get any better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it really doesn't get any better than this. You kind of stole the words right out of my mouth. But, really just the opportunity to call any teams that you find even remotely exciting. We're seeing highlights of the Seahawks and Dallas Cowboys. I mean, the NFL has been great as it gets. In this COVID season, they've really capitalized. One of the better leagues. We saw the NBA with their bubble. College basketball thriving despite, of course, Syracuse not being able to play for a couple weeks, which is certainly tough on us. All sorts of fan bases sticking with their teams throughout the lack of opportunities to go watch them live. Of course, the Bills getting their fans out to that billboard in Foxborough, New England. So all sorts of stuff to appreciate as a sports fan. And you and I as sports broadcasters, it's really as good as it gets. Through Zoom, with COVID implications, you and I have kind of made it work. So again, I appreciate you having me on here, and this really is as good as it gets.
I wouldn't want to do it without anyone else, man. You're the best broadcast partner I could ask for, and it's beyond a lot of fun. So 2nd down and 3, 2 minutes to go here for Cam Newton and the Patriots. Pitch to the left side. James White finds the edge a little bit, gains about 1, and it'll be 3rd down and about a yard for New England. 1:50 to play. Marchak, you said it best too when you talked about how the NFL has been able to continue this season really without major pause. They've been flexible. Yeah, we'll play on a Tuesday, we'll play on a Wednesday, but they haven't really canceled a single game. Postponements, yes, but they've gotten every game in, and we're playing football like it's a normal NFL season for the most part. Pass complete to the left side, 1st down, James White. And 1st down, New England. It's a gain of 5 for the Patriots, and they're rolling with 1:23 left to play.
Yeah, back to your point about the NFL and how they've done so well in this COVID season. That's not to discredit some of the struggles. We saw like the Browns, half of their team out with COVID, and the Steelers were stuck in Pittsburgh for at least a week waiting for their game against the Bengals or the Browns. It's hard for me to recall. So certainly some struggles.
And a huge hit here from the left side for the Buffalo Bills. Big time football here. And it's a big sack against Cam Newton. Coming off the edge that time, it looked like it was Wax trying to catch a number. But that's a big man play for the for the Buffalo Bills right there.
Yeah, it looked like Marloni there. There's so many different faces to look at in this rushing defense for the Pats or the Bills, excuse me. That's again another chance of an example of the depth in this roster.
40 seconds left. Cam Newton pass complete up the middle, and Jacoby Myers is able to make the catch. That's his first reception so far today. Your leading receiver hasn't touched the ball much. That's not a good sign if you're New England. 3rd down, only 27 seconds left now, and it's 3rd down and 9. The New England Patriots have it at the 39-yard line, so it doesn't look like they're going to get a good chance at the end zone. Big pass rush here. And Oliver nearly makes a tackle. Cam Newton gets a pass up the middle, and it's at the shoestrings of N'Keal Harry. Harry didn't stand a chance. 4th down and 9, 12 seconds left to go, and just when you thought New England had some momentum, it's taken out of their sails by a humongous sack. And I still didn't catch a number, Marchak. Was it 31?
I believe it was 31. Even on this play here, it's just another example that, Cam Newton evading the pressure. Finally, of course, in that last play, Marloni taking him down. The rushing defense has been fantastic for the Bills, but Cam Newton evading the pressure and he still can't get the play done. It's just a shame.
Yeah, 31 would have been Dean Marlowe, and I believe you're correct. It's 31. So the sack by Dean Marlowe will go with. Timeout Buffalo here because with 12 seconds left, they're trying to ice this thing out a little bit. Not they get the ball with 12 seconds. I think it's more of a statement thing. If you're Sean McDermott, just really try and ride out the end of this game. Show that you have the dominance going into the locker room. I remember watching the Syracuse versus Clemson game a few years back where the Orange actually almost won at Clemson. Dino Babers was trying to kind of get smart with Dabo Sweeney and say, no, I say when it's halftime, right? The Clemson Tigers were trying to knee out the ball and Dino Babers kept calling timeouts. Even though there was literally 5 seconds on the clock. He didn't even want the ball back and it was like first down. But Dino Babers just kept calling timeouts, kind of saying to Dabo Sweeney, no, I'll dictate when we go to the locker room. Thank you. So,
yeah, a little historical reference from you right there. And it kind of dictates what you're saying right here. Both these coaches, real chippy and real competitive, and both longtime, coaches in the NFL. Although McDermott a newer face, but Belichick will do the same thing for certain. So just returning the fire there.
The punt is away, and it goes over the head of Andre Roberts and out of bounds. So Josh Allen will most likely knee it away at about the 16-yard line, and that's what you'd expect. And it looks like that'll probably take us into the locker room unless they have something up their sleeve. But at the 16-yard line, I'm pretty sure they'll just take a knee here. And Bill Belichick known to do that on the other side of the ball. I was watching a video earlier today of when he was playing the New York Jets, kind of doing this thing where the clock continues to wind, just kind of showing his assertiveness. And Josh Allen takes a final knee. So 2 seconds left. Clock is expired. And it's halftime here at Gillette Stadium. The Buffalo Bills head to the locker room with a 24-9 lead over the New England Patriots. Marchak, it was an exciting first half. If you're a Buffalo fan, if you're a Patriots fan, oh, how the tides have turned. So it's definitely interesting to see. And the Bills dominating over the Patriots in the first half of action. Marchak, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, historically speaking, the Patriots have kind of, like you said, the tides have turned, and the AFC East is completely flipped on its head here with the Dolphins and the Bills at top. That'll be an interesting matchup to look at next week. But first, we got to play out this game. The Bills certainly looking confident coming into the locker room with a 24-9 lead. Certainly a lot of defensive changes for the Patriots to make. J.C. Jackson, their leading cornerback, and leading, the AFC East tied with Xavier Howard with 8 interceptions. Maybe Xavier might have a small upper edge in that statistic if I am corrected. But at the end of the day, a guy who should be supremely confident with all the stats in his favor, yet Stephon Diggs blows him wide open with 70 yards here in this first half.
Absolutely. So just before we wrap up the halftime, a little bit of a special announcement here to make. And Marchak, do you want to take a look at some of the first half stats while I get it ready?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Cam Newton, so far in the season, entering it with 2,300 yards, and an interesting statistic to look at. We obviously look at the Bills with Josh Allen. He was entering this game with exactly 4,000 yards. You and I were mentioning that beforehand. Not something you see too often, but at the end of the day, whether it's a pretty number, it's going to look good anyways with 4,000 coming into this second to last game. Of course, Singletary is their leading running back, but the funny thing is all of their running backs have plenty of yards, and he has a similar amount of yards as White on the other side, who led in yards at tailback position for the Patriots. So those two guys will certainly have an impact, being a similar skill level. Stephon Diggs leading in receiving yards, entering this game with 1,300. I believe he's, obviously coming in at 1,400 plus now with that 70-yard first half. That's certainly a huge number for him. So he's kind of been the name of the game tonight for the Bills. Stephon Diggs only had 3 receptions, but blew it wide open with a 50-yard touchdown to close it out. So a lot of big players to look at. Poyer, he leads in tackles. We saw that one play closing it out where Cam Newton and him butt heads, and 2 huge faces to see kind of get at each other. So a lot of things to look at here in this Bills-Patriots matchup. So many different people to look at, so many different faces, so much depth in this Bills roster. Gio, what do you think about the depth in this Bills roster? It's so exciting.
Oh, again, putting fandom aside, I think the Bills are just a serious contender for the Super Bowl. And it's crazy to say, right? This is the Buffalo Bills. Like, what are you talking about? But I mean, they dominated the Steelers a couple of weeks ago, who throughout the entirety of the season were one of the best in the league. I mean, they're playing their best football at the best time of the year to do it. and everybody's contributing, right? It's not just one guy. You have to worry about everyone on the field. If you want to double team Stephon Diggs, go ahead, but then they have Gabriel Davis and Beasley and Isaiah McKenzie and John Brown, all these other guys that they can dish the ball to. So this team's exciting and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, certainly good vibes all around in Buffalo. We can feel it here right in Syracuse.
Absolutely. So, special announcement to make, as I have opened up a little bit of a partnership here with accessoryspot.com. So, accessoryspot.com, you can head there to find all of your needs as far as phone accessories go. And they're opening up their branding to more stuff as well. So, starting January 1st, they're going to be opening up a line of Orange Heat merchandise. And here is a first scoop here to see. Orange Heat.
That's looking clean, Gio. I'm not gonna lie.
And then they have the Accessory Spot logo as well. So starting January 1st, you can purchase these, and you can purchase other designs coming soon as well, whether that be phone accessories and mouse pads and different stuff. That's their thing. They do these phone accessories and stuff like that. So again, accessoryspot.com, XESSORY spot.com. So pretty exciting stuff. It was very cool to kind of work things out with them. And starting January 1st, you can cop your own Orange Heat merchandise. So very cool, very exciting. And I wanted to get that out there again, accessoryspot.com. So absolutely, that's certainly exciting. And that was pretty cool to announce. And the Orange Heat merch is certainly coming. But I think, Kyle, it's the perfect time to take a quick break here for halftime. We'll be back in just a little bit. And right now it's a lead for the Buffalo Bills over the New England Patriots, 24-9. Kyle, any final remarks?
Yeah, I mean, this is really an exciting offense for the Bills. A lot of changes for the Patriots to make in their secondary. J.C. Jackson was blown wide open with Stephon Diggs' 50-yard touchdown to close out the half. So a lot of new looks we might see coming into the second half, Gio.
Absolutely. Can't wait for it. The Bills lead it over the Patriots 24-9 at half. Don't go anywhere. We'll be here in just a little bit to bring you the second half of coverage. It's the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. It's Monday Night Football, and it's right here on Orange Heat. Welcome back here for the second half of action. It's Monday Night Football on Orange Heat. The Buffalo Bills lead the New England Patriots 24-9. As the initial kickoff goes out of bounds, the back of the end zone, Josh Allen takes the snap in the shotgun from the 25-yard line on their own side of the field. Allen, a laser to the right sideline. Pass is caught by Dawson Knox. It's a gain of 16 for Buffalo, and the chains will move once again. Here he goes. Kyle, a phenomenal stat that I noticed during halftime, and I just had to share it on the show. The Buffalo Bills have not thrown a red zone interception this entire year. They've thrown over 150 passes in the red zone. They've had over 30 touchdowns and not a single interception in the red zone. That's a Super Bowl stat right there.
I mean, that's as impressive as it gets with this young man. I mean, you have to imagine what that passer rating is. And look at Dawson Knox rolling out to his left right there. And that's a great play to get his feet in bounds. Tight end, it's hard to be super athletic at the tight end position. Of course, not one of the better blockers in the AFC East, but we see a lot of athletic route running, good hands, real quick tight ends like Mike Gesicki, and Knox is one of the best. He's certainly up there. What a great play to start off this half for the Bills, who certainly have it rolling in their favor offensively right now.
Yeah, and you hit the nail right on the head. A lot of people have kind of been picking at his blocking abilities, but when you can catch the ball downfield like that and toe tap 2 shoes in, I'll take you all day. So Dawson Knox with a big 16-yard reception for Buffalo to get things going, and a quick timeout break. So we apologize for coming back so instantly. I'm not going to lie to you. That was like the quickest halftime I feel like I've seen on Monday Night Football. So to the fault of our own, we're kind of scrambling to get back on here. So we do apologize, but we'd love to kind of come at you a little bit and bring you some stats from the first half, because it was an exciting one during this timeout, Kyle. So looking at some of the stats, I mean, it's clear that the Buffalo Bills have sort of held the advantage here, and there's kind of no doubt about that at this point. But if we just take a look at the box score, Josh Allen absolutely lighting up the secondary of the New England Patriots right now at this point. On the other side, Cam Newton, not so much. Josh Allen, 15 for 21, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, quarterback rating of 127.7. And then on the other side for the New England Patriots, Cam Newton, 5 for 10 passing, only 34 passing yards, and 0 touchdowns, a rating of 57. Now, he's been sacked twice. Buffalo has not been sacked at all. And rushing the ball, New England's up there. Sony Michel leads the way, 8 carries for 63 yards. And Cam Newton had a rushing touchdown. Cam Newton has 24 yards on the ground, and J.J. Taylor, 2 rushes for 31 yards. On the other side, Buffalo, Josh Allen, 3 rushes for 32 yards. Zach Moss, 4 rushes, 24 yards, and a touchdown. Devin Singletary, 5 rushes, 11 yards. So it's been an exciting one. They end up challenging the reception for Dawson Knox. The play does stand because Knox got both of his feet in. And it's been an exciting first half if you're a Buffalo fan, Marchak.
Yeah, and it's certainly an interesting statistic to look at with all those numbers you just spat at us, especially the receiving. One thing to note is there's so many different guys to look at that can receive for the Bills. If I'm counting correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like I said earlier, 9 different guys have gotten yards in the air, and 2 others have also been passed at. There's just so many different faces to receive for New England or for the Bills, as opposed to only a couple guys who have received for the Patriots tonight.
Wide receiver screen to the left side. Stephon Diggs breaks a tackle across the 50-yard line. It's a 10-yard gain for Buffalo, and it's another first down for the Bills. 14-31 and counting left to go here in the third quarter as we're just underway in the second half. Bills lead at 24-9 over the New England Patriots. Brian Daboll has been lighting up this Bill Belichick offense as far as play calling goes, and that was another big one for Stephon Diggs tonight. He has 4 receptions, 80 yards, and he has a touchdown with the big 50-yard gash. So here goes Josh Allen, and he keeps it. It's a weird play-action fake here. Fake the jet sweep, and he's able to loft this one high and out of bounds, just throwing it away. Not much open down the field. Not exactly what they were looking for. 2nd down and 10, Marchak.
Yeah, interesting. Allen really poised in the pocket, but rolling out wide there with that play-action fake, he kind of tried to play it like he actually did hand it off, relaxing after he had thrown it, and then feels the pressure, rolls out wide, and of course he doesn't have anyone downfield. But just another thing to note with Josh Allen, he's so athletic, so poised, and so many things in his back pocket, similar to Cam Newton and his plays. We saw him open up with some trickery in their first drive. Just so many different things to look at, and that's a part of the chaos of this offensively based football game right here.
2nd down and 10 for Buffalo at the New England 51-yard line. 4 seconds left on the play clock. Josh Allen able to snap his hands, get the play off. Allen dropping back, poised in the shotgun. Pass complete right side. Cole Beasley gets out of bounds with about 2 yards to gain before the sticks. So it'll be 3rd down and short for Buffalo. But how dependable is that guy Cole Beasley in the slot?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a guy you find repeatedly in the slot. Obviously, not a guy you find over the top. He doesn't have insane burst out speed. He's just, quick routes, and you find him and you get those extra yards. He's almost like a guy that you can use for the rushing game. It's like, you just get up the field inch by inch, and eventually you move the chains. And Cole Beasley is one of those guys, of course, at the slot receiver position.
3rd down and 3, 13:33 left on the game clock here. 24-9 lead for Buffalo. Handoff. Left side is Devin Singletary, and he has the 1st down. Just crossing the sticks is Singletary, the sophomore, you could say, for this Buffalo Bills squad. And it's 1st down for the Bills as they continue to move those chains. Big lead now for Buffalo. I mean, an opportunity to extend this thing even further, and that's been the exciting thing for Buffalo. Out of their last 7 victories out of the last 8 games, and 5 of those 7 have been by double digits, and the Bills looking to do that again tonight. That's an impressive stat. They have not had an opponent in front of them, including the Pittsburgh Steelers, that they have had much trouble with. Pass complete. Gabriel Davis up the middle, crossing the 30-yard line, tackled right at the line to gain. Interesting to see how they'll spot this, whether it'll be the 1st down or not, but the rookie with another big catch.
Yeah, I mean, they just continue to move the chains upfield. An interesting statistic to look at here with a half gone in this game. Josh Allen, he's got 80 yards at the top of his list with Stephon Diggs, 80 yards for Stephon Diggs. And if we look at the Patriots, only 34 yards combined with the 5 receivers they've used tonight. So Cam Newton really needs to learn how to get it in the air. Of course, kind of forced to with the way the Bills have geared their rushing defense. So a lot of stuff to look at for Cam Newton when he gets the ball back. But for now, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, play action fake, wide receiver screen, right side, Stephon Diggs. Diggs breaks a tackle across the line to gain. It's going to be a 1st down. Buffalo once again, as play after play, they just get this thing slinging down the field. Stephon Diggs showed his speed and shiftiness, and Josh Allen found him for an easy 10 on the wide out screen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Diggs is certainly going to find himself with triple digits tonight. Of course, that 50-yard touchdown to close out the first half certainly helped his case, but nonetheless, without that big play, he's having himself tonight with a handful of receptions and certainly a handful of 1st down conversions. He's really been a key to this offense for the Bills tonight.
24-9's your score. 11:35 to go. Josh Allen, play action fake, delivers a strike up the middle. Stephon Diggs again, breaks the tackle, touchdown Buffalo, as he sends this one up into the rafters at Gillette Stadium. It's all Bills here at the home turf of the New England Patriots. What a scene, 30-9. It's an 18-yard reception for Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, J.C. Jackson, the man trusted tonight to be matched up with Stephon Diggs. And again, another blown coverage where Stephon Diggs' breakout speed and route running is just too fantastic. And when he gets the ball, there's nothing Jackson can do about it. We saw on that 50-yarder previously, Diggs had it, and he danced his way all the way down into the end zone. No one was near him. And this time, even with contact, he breaks through. Just a super strong receiver and certainly a guy to look out for tonight.
8 plays, 75 yards was that drive. If that's not methodically just moving the ball down the field, I don't know what is. Tyler Bass, PAT is up and good. And Stephon Diggs, how about it? 2nd touchdown of the day. Josh Allen loves it. And the Bills are rolling over the arch rival New England Patriots.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's crazy to think that there's 13 different faces that have scored in the air for the Bills this season. And Diggs is one of them. And he still is, he's inching in on 1,500 yards. And there's still 12 other faces other than him that are getting so many touches and at least scoring for him. I mean, this is just it's as good as it gets in the air for the Bills. And even then, they have guys on the ground who have had success. Singletary's looked solid tonight, and he'll look to inch his numbers up, although it seems that Moss and Allen are leading the rushing game tonight so far for the Bills. Of course, not a game that they need too much to be so strong when their air game has just been fantastic with Stephon Diggs.
I couldn't agree with you more, Kyle. It's all Buffalo here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And as a Bills fan, you got to love it. And a big
Oh
matchup
yeah.
next week against the Miami Dolphins as well. So just to shout it out one more time, and I'll do it again when we conclude the broadcast. New Orange Heat merch coming just in time for the new year, dropping on January 1st of 2021. Start the new year out right with some Orange Heat swag in partnership with Accessory Spot. That's XESSORY spot.com. They're very big on mobile device accessories and mouse pads and things like that. So they do great business, and they reached out for a little bit of a partnership here with some Orange Heat merchandise. So very exciting news. And dropping on January 1st, you'll be able to get your very own Orange Heat swag. So very special. Make that announcement. Pretty cool. But Kyle, we got some Monday Night Football, and it's a good one here.
Oh yeah, I mean it's really as good as it gets in the AFC East with the Bills at the top and the Patriots still with a lot to say to end out this season. Of course, Cam Newton tweeted out to his fans that, not making the playoffs is unacceptable as him as a young man introducing himself to New England. Foxborough certainly struggling right now, but nonetheless, just so many different faces in this football game in general that are just so talented, and really the future is bright for both squads here. Of course, Cam Newton will have a lot in his plate with this season ending, but nonetheless, he has to worry about Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen in this Buffalo squad right now. 117 receptions, and he leads the NFL. Stephon Diggs has looked so solid thus far.
Leads the NFL in receptions with 117 and leads the NFL with receiving yards with 1,422. So, I mean, really making an argument to be the best wide receiver in the National Football League this year, playing phenomenal football. And when you have a quarterback that can sling it like Josh Allen on Fireball, California, small town kid, went to Wyoming. Bills took a chance on him in the first round, and he's certainly panned out in his third season.
Oh, yeah. I mean, both those young men are certainly a dynamic duo, and it's really the cream of the crop.
The Patriots, 17 AFC East titles. The Bills, 0. Head-to-head wins, 35 for New England and 5 for Buffalo. This is since Tom Brady was the quarterback of the New England Patriots. Now the Bills have the first AFC East divisional title since 1995. And they're playing some phenomenal football, trying to sweep the New England Patriots for the first time since 1999. But it's Sony Michel rumbling his way forward, gaining about 8 here for the New England Patriots. It'll be second down and short for Cam Newton and company. Interesting here, they keep referencing to Jarrett Stidham, the quarterback from Auburn, on the sideline, wondering if Cam Newton will end up coming out of this game. Sony Michel wrapped up in the backfield, nowhere to go, loss of about 2. And it was Zimmer who got there first for Buffalo. What a push for the defensive line, and third down and medium for Cam Newton.
Yeah, I mean, that rushing defense has looked solid. Cam Newton is going to have to find his way up the field somehow, but, he's tried the air, he's tried the ground game, a lot of things to look at for him when he comes back in the second drive. But for now, 3rd and 3, let's see if he can convert.
3rd and 3, 10:30 left to go here in the third quarter. It's all Buffalo. 31-9 is your score. Foxborough, Massachusetts. Cam Newton in the shotgun, 2 receivers to his right side, 1 man in the backfield. That's who will hit. It's James White on the pitch out, and he's taken down short of the line to gain. Well short. Matt Milano got there for Buffalo, and what an asset to have back Matt Milano is. Spent a lot of time on the IR list, unfortunately, throughout the season, but he's back and better than ever, and he's back just in time for the playoffs, as that's a big hit for Matt Milano, and the New England Patriots are going to be forced to punt this ball away.
Yeah, Milano, super athletic on that play and just finding the right man. He saw that shovel pass coming, read it, and went out to that receiver, and he's certainly quick for his position.
4th and 2, and it looks like Bentley will be the man to punt this one away. Andre Roberts back deep to return for Buffalo. This one goes up, high punt, deep punt, very good punt. Andre Roberts makes a catch, makes a man miss at the 20-yard line, and trots out of bounds past the 25, close to the 30. How about Andre Roberts on that play?
Oh, yeah, he had a guy flying on that one. Certainly one of the better special teams members in this matchup tonight. But how about Josh Allen? Going to be another guy to worry about when he's coming back on the field. So the damage is just going to continue to come in. And honestly, at this point, it might be damage control for this defense of the Patriots.
Absolutely. Josh Allen, I mean, he's playing MVP caliber football. Probably won't win it this year. I think that's sealed up for Aaron Rodgers, looks like at that point. But Certainly in the mix is Patrick Mahomes. Allen spent a little bit of time with an injury on his shoulder for like 4 weeks, and he played, but it showed because he had the brace, and they really didn't throw the ball much. They really ran the ball a lot in those games. And in one of those games, they played against the Tennessee Titans, and they lost. And they played against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they lost. So it just goes to show how important Josh Allen being healthy and able to throw the ball is. When you have a shoulder injury, you can't throw the ball. It's tough to win football games. So the Bills just clamoring for an opportunity to possibly face up against the Kansas City Chiefs once more, who certainly are the Super Bowl favorites and possibly MVP favorite, and Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's just so many different faces in the AFC. I mean, it's really been the strongest it's ever been. We look at the NFC, and there's, like the NFC East, it's, multiple losing teams fighting for a spot in the playoffs. It's just so interesting to see the dynamic over there, while at the same time, it's just a breed of success here in the AFC. So many different teams, so many different quarterbacks to appreciate: Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and even different faces like Lamar Jackson, Tua Tagovailoa trying to fight for his name in the game tonight. Of course, he'll be playing next week against the Bills. We've mentioned that before. That'll be a great matchup. But for now, Gabriel Davis has been a guy to look at tonight for the Bills, and Josh Allen will certainly find him. But for now, Stephon Diggs has been the name of the game tonight. Gio, 108 yards thus far. We had to wonder when he was going to break out for it. We knew that he was going to have success against J.C. Jackson in the secondary of the Patriots. Without Stephon Gilmore, it was bound to happen. It was just a matter of when. We went into that second quarter, and he only had a couple receptions and a couple of yards to his name. And all of a sudden, this second half, he's reached triple digits.
Oh, yeah. Big games out of everybody on this Buffalo Bills offensive onslaught. 31-9 is the score, and it's reflected. It's 9:29 left to go in the third quarter. Josh Allen and company will come out for yet another drive. They haven't had a drive yet where they've punted it. Every single drive, they have had a score. Only one situation where they thought about punting it, couple of fourth downs. Every time they've gone for it on fourth down, it's been 3 times. They've converted, twice with Josh Allen under center, one with Corey Bajorquez, the punter, in there, and it was a fake to Saron Neal for a first down. So the Bills have yet to punt this game. We'll see if they continue that success. 3:30 left to go. Josh Allen drops back, sends one deep down the right side, and it is incomplete, intended for Gabriel Davis. And Josh Allen almost hit a home run ball there. He knew it, but good coverage deep downfield.
Yeah, so Davis a target this time downfield. Of course, Davis not as good as route running as his counterpart in Stephon Diggs, but still a guy who's super athletic and probably one of the best types of breakout speed on this team, despite some of the tailbacks who have similar speed to him. But yeah, just couldn't find him over the top. Good coverage there by the Patriots.
Gabriel Davis, a rookie on this team who's had more of an impact than possibly expected coming in out of UCF. Wasn't even the first round pick. That went to Zach Moss, tailback out of Utah. So 2nd down and 10, 5 seconds on the play clock. Josh Allen has to go quickly. He does. Handoff left side. Speaking of Zach Moss, there he is. Gain of about 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6 or 7 for Buffalo.
So with that, Zach Moss will probably edge up the leaderboard of rushing yards tonight for the Bills, but kind of a lack thereof when it's right next to that statistic of 108 yards from Stephon Diggs. And the next guy closest to him is Dawson Knox with half as much. So certainly a lot of crooked numbers to look at tonight for the Bills. Their offense has been really chaotic and hard for Bill Belichick to really figure out tonight.
3rd down and 6, 8:45 left to go. Josh Allen in the shotgun, a receiver to the left side and trips to the right. Allen drops back, pressure coming, and he able to get a pass off down the left side, and it looks like it's incomplete. The Bills want pass interference on Gabriel Davis, and I don't think they're going to get that call, Kyle. McCourty back there in coverage, 4th down and 6, and I think I jinxed them because the Bills are going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, interesting play. McCourty Davis, not even really looking up for the ball, but when Davis turns around for it, McCourty's going to get a little handsy, but Allen obviously pleading his case there, but nonetheless, the Patriots get it in their favor. But how much will that matter here on 4th and 6? And obviously punting are the Bills, but Cam Newton's going to have to step out in the field now with it in front of him. How is he going to figure out to move the chains a little bit?
Bajorquez hasn't had to be busy yet today. This one hits off the leg, I believe, maybe of the Patriots, and no. So a little bit of a collision between the return man and one of the coverage specialists for New England, one of the blockers, and it goes over the head of the initial return man, and the Buffalo Bills are able to down this thing at the 5, which should have been a fair catch at about the 25. So some miscommunication, and some bumps and bruises along the way. And that's why New England find themselves 31-9 with terrible field position now. It'll be at the 5-yard line. What a play out of the Bills coverage team.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots just cannot seem, to catch a break. And now, like I said, what is Cam Newton going to do to find himself downfield with a terrible starting position that's just not in his favor? He's going to try and start it off with some running plays like he usually does. But at the end of the day, it's going to get down to his arm. And his arm is simply not good enough to be a full NFL caliber quarterback and win games. Like I said, he tweeted out to his fan base that's unacceptable the way he's been playing and the fact that he couldn't lead him and Bill Belichick's Patriots to a playoff position. And it's just disappointing for a young man like him who has so much star power but just can't seem to get the job done. You really have to question the dynamic between him and Belichick and how much he matches up with this playing style here in New England, which really shouldn't be in question. New England's had so much previous success with Tom Brady, and now you have a guy who is mobile in Cam Newton. So many different things to look at. Cam Newton will probably start out with some running plays right here, but again, it gets down to his arm. How powerful will that be as a weapon later in this game?
And there's some official review going on right now. I believe they're looking at what it looked like contact between the return man and one of the New England Patriots members actually was contact between a Buffalo Bills coverage specialist and the return man for New England. So I believe this thing will probably be coming back here, and it'll actually be against the Bills, and they will be giving up a little bit of penalty yardage here. So the New England Patriots seem to catch a break, and they're going to get some better field position here.
Yeah, and hopefully Cam Newton will capitalize. He's going to have to mix it up and really catch the secondary of the Bills off guard. They've been solid all night, but I know Cam Newton has the arm to find it downfield. It's just a matter of completion. We've seen him, with also a poor O-line, collapsing in on him. Cam Newton struggles to, while, coming off the back foot or while ranging out to his left or right, complete it up the middle. Even those short passes he's struggled with. So, obviously his receiving core isn't the strongest in the AFC East or the NFL for that matter, but he's just going to have to find a way to complete it, whether he is ranging out of the pocket, which is something he should be used to as such a mobile quarterback at 6'6", 245 pounds.
Yeah, Gunnar Olszewski was the man back deep for New England, and he did a good job pleading his case, got the official review, and no word yet, but it seems very evident that the contact came from a Buffalo Bills member on the special teams unit. So that's most likely what will happen when they come back, Kyle. So just looking at the playoff picture, who is your favorite in the NFC right now?
I don't know. The NFC is certainly a tight picture. It's going to have to come down to, honestly, all sorts of different teams. Like I said, the NFC East is one of the weakest it's ever been. And so it really comes down to the rest of those divisions, all teams with top heavy squads fighting for it. The AFC has been tight. So, honestly, it comes down to, what the analysts will think about it. It's going to be tough to see.
Absolutely. I'd say my favorite has to be, it's tough. Probably the Packers, but I'm also not sold on the Packers either. So it's definitely a tough question, and it looks like they're not giving it to the Patriots. And Jarrett Stidham in now for the New England Patriots at starting quarterback. They bench Cam Newton, a 4th-round pick in the 2009 draft out of Auburn, 24-year-old kid. Cam Newton gets the bench. 8:21 left to go here in the third quarter. It's all Buffalo, 31-9. 1st and 10 for Jarrett Stidham and company, and this thing doesn't go the direction I thought, still at the 5-yard line for New England. Stidham, handoff up the middle, and it goes to Taylor rather, and he gets about 1 or 2. It'll be 2nd down and long.
Yeah, J.J. Taylor, another guy in the backfield for the Patriots that you have to watch out for. At 5'6", 185, he's certainly very quick at his position. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to Stidham now, who's replacing Cam Newton, who certainly looks disappointed on the sidelines. We have to see how good Stidham is.
Stidham dropping back, pass up the middle, and it goes too low for the intended receiver, Bird. And I won't lie, Kyle, that pass didn't look too crisp.
No, yeah, I mean, Stidham probably with some early game nerves. Not sure exactly how many touches he's gotten, but obviously a highly sought for quarterback getting drafted in that 4th round, as you mentioned. He certainly looks athletic in the pocket, very poised, and those are just some of the intangibles that you'll need to have success in the NFL. And then it just comes down to basic ability. So we'll see here in this opening drive here for Jarrett Stidham.
3rd down and 8 for New England. Deep in their own territory at the 7-yard line. 31-9 is the lead for Buffalo. 7:52 left to go. Stidham in the shotgun. Claps his hands. Pressure coming. Pass is incomplete. Tipping that one away was Tre'Davious White, and there's a flag on the field. It'll probably be roughing the passer against A.J. Epinesa, and that's tough. A.J. Epinesa, a rookie out of Iowa, drafted in the first round by Buffalo. And it is roughing the passer. So that's unfortunate. That's a break for New England. That's unfortunate for Buffalo. I'd have to see it again. It just kind of looked like he hit him as he was throwing, but they protect the quarterback in this league as of late. And I don't know. I mean, he hits him as soon as he's throwing. I don't know what else you want him to do, but.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a really unfortunate narrative in the NFL nowadays is the complete protection of the quarterback. Sometimes you just see really good plays from pass rushers like Epinesa or even Oliver and Hughes on this Bills squad. And at the end of the day, they take it back because they just hit them too hard, which is just a shame because it's just a great display of athleticism right there from Epinesa. But again, taken back.
I mean, Stidham's literally throwing as they make contact. So I just feel like, I don't know how you want the guy to stop his momentum. He's trying to get that safety, right? They're deep in their own territory. Stidham's literally standing in the end zone. And, it's tough because, he can't stop his momentum in his tracks, right? So nonetheless, it's a first down for New England and a handoff up the middle. James White gets a couple, 2nd down and 7:23 left to go for Jarrett Stidham and company. 2 men in the backfield with him. There's a fullback and a tailback. I believe it's Taylor. Receiver in motion on the right side. Here's Stidham dropping back. Pass complete up the middle and plenty of distance and room this time. And that's their leading guy right now for the New England Patriots, the guy that they knew they had to get going, Jakobi Meyers, with his 2nd reception of the game, but a big one for a first down and much more.
Yeah, and that tells you just how good the secondary of the Bills is that Jakobi Meyers has been hindered all night. He's supposed to be their leader with 600-plus yards, yet not much action for him.
Stidham tried to hit Myers again for a first down, but that one was knocked away that time by Wallace in the Bills secondary. That was a big play by him. And 2nd down and 10 will be the call. 6:45 left to go here in the third quarter. Buffalo leads it 31-9. And Cam Newton gets benched for Jarrett Stidham here at Gillette Stadium. Late in the year, Stidham in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the left, 1 man to the right. And they're certainly passing the ball more now with Jarrett Stidham. Pressure coming on Stidham. Lets one fly to the right side. This one is incomplete. Wallace was in coverage as well as Micah Hyde, and really not even close to the intended receiver, Bird.
Yeah, I know that was a deep throw, but really not much zip on that. And that's just something that'll happen with the development of Stidham, obviously a young quarterback. But yeah, completely off target right there and really a dangerous throw downfield. You can't afford to miss your target, especially with the coverage of the secondary of the Bills. That's just a ball that should be picked off, of course, out of bounds nonetheless, but certainly a bad opportunity there created by Jarrett Stidham.
6:40 left to go. 3rd down and 10 for New England, and they're nearing Bills territory. Knocking on the door of the 50-yard line are the Patriots. Stidham dropping back. Pass complete to the left side. James White. James White unable to make a man miss, and Matt Milano with a fantastic open field tackle for the Buffalo Bills, and it's 4th down. James White had at least 10, 15 more yards to gain if he's able to break that tackle. Matt Milano says absolutely not, Kyle. What a big play.
Oh, yeah, Milano, like I said, really quick for his position and one of the better tacklers in the AFC East. And nonetheless, the Patriots will have to punt this one away, just too far out of the field goal range. And, they're trying to inch their way upfield. I like the look for him with Stidham getting those short passes, but nonetheless, Milano taking that away from him.
Jake Bailey out here to punt this one back to the Buffalo Bills, who before this, Bajorquez had to punt for the first time so far this game. Andre Roberts lets it fly over his head, and a good punt here by Bailey as he's going to pin the Buffalo Bills down at the 5-yard line. So a nice punt here by Bailey, gets the home field bounce, and that's where Josh Allen and company will take over. And Allen has to be thinking to himself, well, hey, okay, that's 95 more passing yards for me, right? So the Bills have a long way to go here to try and extend this lead a little bit more, but right now it sits at 31-9 at Gillette Stadium. Josh Allen has the highest completion percentage in Buffalo Bills history with 68.8 this season, completes nearly 70% of his passes. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean his QB rating has really been fantastic all season. He's just got such a good connection with Diggs and the rest of his receiving core. Like you said, 13 different faces have scored touchdowns for him in the air. So really just a guy who knows his job and knows his team so well. Such a deep roster.
Handoff up the middle on the first play, gaining about 1 that time, is going to be the tailback for the Bills, Devin Singletary. And 5:30 left to go here in the third quarter. It's going to be second down and about 9 for Buffalo at the 6-yard line. Zach Moss now in at tailback. Josh Allen hasn't been sacked yet tonight, but the Patriots are certainly probably crank up the pressure a little bit here. 31-9 is the lead for Buffalo. 5:12 left to go. Allen now under center. Zach Moss in the backfield, 2 receivers to the right, 1 man to the left. And it looks like the Bills just got the Patriots off sides, but it could have been offensive false start as well. We'll await the call.
Yeah, it looked like they might have drew a jump there. You never know. Josh Allen, like we said, a young man with a lot of tricks in his pocket, so it could have been a little play calling that was doing, some audibles that get him to jump, but of course it's kind of the small things that you don't see in the NFL anymore is getting them to jump on the audibles. Nonetheless, another thing that'll hopefully fall in the Bills' favor here.
Yeah, Chase Winovich is the guilty party. He jumps off sides, and it's second down and 4 now for the Buffalo Bills. 31-9 is the lead. 4:50 left to go. This gives them a little bit of breathing room here on second down, not pinned up deep in their own territory against the end zone like that now. Handoff. Zach Moss, it's a fake. Josh Allen running with it himself, stretching forward, doesn't get the first down. That's a good open field tackle by Slater and the New England Patriots. Josh Allen picked up a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, Allen, a guy who reads the field so well, and on that, taking the option, rolling out wide. Another guy who at the quarterback position, not afraid to get hit, not afraid to stiff arm people. We only saw him slide once so far this game. So really a guy who's just not afraid to get dirty as we're looking at some highlights earlier this game with his completion to Stephon Diggs and company. He's looked really solid in the air tonight. And we see there on the feet, he's someone to worry about as well.
3rd down and 1. Handoff up the middle. It's going to be a first down for Buffalo. The run that time by Zach Moss, the rookie tailback. And he moves the chains for the Bills.
So the Bills really on the ground and in the air, finding ways to convert. Of course, another 3rd down conversion for Josh Allen and company. He's looked so solid tonight. He's not afraid to hand it off to different faces like Singletary, who's been solid up the middle. Of course, not a crooked statistic like the rest of his company in the air, but nonetheless, the Bills looking really well-rounded offensively.
Diggs tonight, 6 receptions, 108 yards, and 2 touchdowns. What a game for Stephon Diggs. 3 receivers to the right side, 2 to the left. Shotgun for Josh Allen back there all alone. Dropping back, pass complete up the middle. It's Isaiah McKenzie. McKenzie trying to make some men miss, and that's not what you want to do. He circles backwards, and forward progress might give him something, but nonetheless, he could have had more. And you don't want to backtrack, right? You want to keep moving north, not south, and that's exactly what he did. But it's first down for Buffalo, and they still get a couple of yards.
Yeah, absolutely, Gio. I mean, on plays like that, you kind of favor guys like Diggs who aren't afraid to dig into the defense per se. And, yards after contact is certainly a crooked statistic for him, a guy who's not afraid to really, force that contact and find his way in the extra yards after the catch.
2nd down and 7 for Buffalo. 2:30 left to go. 5 seconds left on the play clock. 2 receivers to the right side, 1 man in the backfield. It's Singletary. Allen drops back. All the pressure in the world coming at him. Hits Diggs on the left sideline. First down, Buffalo near the 30-yard line. The Bills just continue to move the chains. What a strike. Poised in the pocket was Josh Allen with pressure right in his face, and he hits Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the X factor about Diggs is look at his route running. I mean, he totally baits an out route, and then, he cuts back and extra yards just in the back pocket for Josh Allen, who, of course, will hit Diggs like that 10 out of 10 times. It's just so fantastic. Obviously, he has great hands and one of the better, grittier wide receivers in the NFL. But at the end of the day, it's his route running that separates him from the rest. 1st
and 10 now for Buffalo. 1:46 left to go. Allen back there all alone. Trips to the right side. Josh Allen drops back in the shotgun. Pass to the left side. Isaiah McKenzie able to corral it. And he gets near the first down, just not quite there. Couldn't turn his body upfield, so it'll be 2nd down and 1 for Isaiah McKenzie and the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, McKenzie with a smirk on his face after that play, but nonetheless, it was a little bobbled, so he didn't have the opportunity to settle down and break it down upfield. But now they're here 2nd and 1, and 10 out of 10 times you would expect Josh Allen to convert. He's been so, really he's been so efficient as a quarterback in 3rd down and 2nd down situations. When he sees the red zone coming in front of him, he's really going to execute.
2nd down and 1. Handoff up the middle. Zach Moss just muscling his way to the line to gain. I believe he got it. We'll see where they spot it. But he really ran at that with some fierceness behind it.
Yeah, McDermott's play calling tonight for the Bills has just been fantastic. Another play where kind of expected, but at the end of the day, no risks needed. Handed off to Moss up the middle, who's a real tough running back, and it looks like they might have converted there.
And they do. 43 seconds left in the 3rd quarter as we near the 4th here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The Bills lead it over the Patriots 31-9, but it's 1st and 10 for Buffalo at their own 39-yard line. Josh Allen in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, 1 man to the left, and Zach Moss back there in motion. Josh Allen drops back, checks down to Moss, doesn't throw him the ball. Allen's still alive, trying to find someone, hits Moss on the right sideline. Moss able to make the catch, and it's a 4 or 5 yard reception for the Bills, but there is a flag down on the field.
Yeah, flag down, but at the end of the day, Josh Allen's ability to read the field is just fantastic. Evading pressure, rolling out to the right, and he finds his tailback on the right side near the sideline. A great play by Moss right there. Allen's play calling and honestly his ability to just read the field and see what's open has been fantastic tonight.
And it's an illegal contact against the defense. Just when I think they're going to hit them with their first holding penalty of the game, they don't. And it goes against Evan McCourty for some illegal contact in the backfield. So the Bills, again, I mean, they just continue to get things going. Not to jinx them here, Kyle, knock on wood, but they have not had a single holding call yet this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a tight ship that McDermott's running here, and small stuff. Yeah, it's a very disciplinary team, and Josh Allen, a young man who's so humble yet so disciplined. Like I said, I'll mention it so often is there's young guys who come in like Baker Mayfield who lacks basic discipline, but eventually he gets his stuff together, and he's had a hell of a season despite COVID and its implications on his Brown squad. He's a young quarterback, and we saw Dwayne Haskins at a similar level to Baker Mayfield getting drafted. And unfortunately, he had been released by the Washington football team. So it's such a gamble to draft these young quarterbacks nowadays with social media and other things that create such an opportunity for quarterbacks to have some intangibles with them that are hard to manage, like an ego and stuff like that. And when you look at Josh Allen, he has literally everything about him. He has all the it factors. He can run, he can throw, he can man the offense, he can read the field. He's very quick and elusive in the pocket, and all at the same time, he's so humble, and his demeanor on the field is just so great to watch.
And I think it goes back to that humble beginnings for Josh Allen. Grew up in Fireball, California, just a small town in the mountains of Northern California. Ends up really not being heavily recruited, plays this college football at the University of Wyoming. And so he's not on this big national scale, not playing Power 5 football, not a Heisman contender like the 2 guys that you just mentioned. Baker Mayfield won it, and Dwayne Haskins was a finalist as well. So Josh Allen just kind of has always had those humble roots his entire career so far, right? You're a quarterback at the University of Wyoming. That's not the same as being the head man at a Power 5 school like Oklahoma and Ohio State. So I think that just kind of carried over to the league. And then he took over a team like the Buffalo Bills, which just drives home that humbleness, right? The smallest stadium in the NFL. Like, yes, the best fan base, but the smallest stadium, and haven't been to the playoffs at that point, in 17 years and all that stuff. So I just think it just carries all the way through.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the humble beginnings is a real good note. Josh Allen, just such a humble guy. And it's honestly, it's something you got to look for in any sport and any athlete. If you see a guy who has all the intangibles and, all the it factors, yet remains so humble and so grounded, they're bound for success, and they're bound to have the mental fortitude to make it through a long, illustrious career. And Josh Allen has that ahead of him, certainly, especially if he keeps this receiving core with him like Stephon Diggs. How about his performance tonight with that 50-yarder early on, and of course, breaking triple digits just after the half opened up? I mean, what a performance from that young man, Gio.
2 touchdowns today for Stephon Diggs. He's been phenomenal, and he's been a key piece to the success of the Buffalo Bills. What an acquisition for Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott in the offseason with the acquiring of him from Minnesota. Gave up the first-round pick, and it's panned out, and it certainly has paid off. As we begin the fourth quarter here in Foxborough, the Buffalo Bills driving, Josh Allen dropping back, pressure coming, able to escape, delivers a strike up the middle. Stephon Diggs again. Are you kidding me? This pitch and catch is phenomenal.
Dude, Josh Allen, he eludes the pressure. He evades the pocket. He rolls out to his right, not afraid to throw off the back foot, finding Stephon Diggs, one of the best route runners in the NFL, if not the best. And Stephon Diggs getting a little extra yards after that. I mean, they're doing everything they possibly can, and they're really not stepping off the gas right now. Stephon Diggs wide open up the middle. Great route running again, with a little cut route. That's at least 30-plus yards right there in that play.
Josh Allen, 52% completion rating when he's outside of the tackle box to the right side of the field, which is where he favors. Absolutely phenomenal. Allen, play action, dropping back again. Lee Smith, the tight end, with the reception inside the 10 and knocked out of bounds just shy of the 5-yard line. First down and goal for Buffalo. The play action fake and the hitch route to the tight end fooled everybody in the New England secondary, and Allen with another great throw.
Yeah, Lee Smith getting some contact initially, and then he breaks free. And he's not a guy that has breakout speed. We see him get the ball on that play there, like you said, a little hitch, and then over the top. And he breaks free. Not a ton of speed, but a big man nonetheless. And when he gets the hands out there, he can make the play happen.
Here come the Bills. 31-9 is the lead. 13:30 left to go. First down and goal for Buffalo from the 8-yard line of the New England Patriots. Josh Allen dropping back, rolling away to the left side. Allen steps back, delivers one to the end zone, and it is caught. Stephon Diggs with his 3rd touchdown of the game. Oh, my goodness, Josh Allen.
This might be the best duo in the NFL. I mean, if not, at least the AFC East. Josh Allen rolling out to his right. It looked like he was toying with the defense. I mean, he's just, strolling out to his right, not afraid to toss it off the back foot, and an 8-yard touchdown reception. But nonetheless, Allen ranged out at least 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage and found Stephon Diggs, who went all the way out to his right and then ranged to his left. I mean, these guys are just so athletic, and Stephon Diggs with a diving catch to his right, finding that ball low. And again, Josh Allen threading the needle past that, McCourty, one of the better cornerbacks in the AFC East. I mean, that's really as good as it gets here.
What a catch by Stephon Diggs. And Josh Allen talks about it in his interviews, and they point this out a lot too. Allen put that ball where it's either caught by Stephon Diggs or incomplete. He didn't put it in a gutsy area up high. He didn't put it in the middle. There's no chance of that ball getting intercepted. It either goes to the feet of Stephon Diggs and he catches it, or it's incomplete. That's smart football out of Josh Allen, and he does that all the time. That's why he's yet to throw an interception in the red zone this season. 3 touchdowns between Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen has 4 total touchdown passes on the day. What a game for Buffalo so far.
I mean, that's seriously as good as it gets. Like you said, no interceptions in the red zone. Josh Allen knows how to capitalize in the right situations. And again, 8 yards to go, and he finds the young man. He's just so good at it.
The lead continues to grow for Buffalo as there's plenty of time left to play here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. We just got the fourth quarter underway. 13-16 left. It's 38-9 for the lead. And we have ourselves an exciting game if you're a Bills fan here in Foxborough. After years and years of Bills fans suffering through the Patriots beating up on Buffalo, I'm sure there's a lot of people in Bills Mafia enjoying this game right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in fantastic fashion as well. Josh Allen likely closing in on 400 yards by the end of this game. And, with a guy like Stephon Diggs, that may be easy to do. If we look at the numbers, Stephon Diggs closing in on maybe 200 by the end of the game. He's at 150 plus right now with an average of 16 yards per reception, which isn't even the lead. We have Dawson Knox under him with an average of 17 yards per reception. And he's, at half as much yards at only 51. And of course, we saw Lee Smith with a couple big plays. It's just so many different guys to look at in the air on this offense of the Bills. Such a dangerous squad, Gio.
Kyle, this is a Super Bowl contending football team. I mean, I don't care who you are. The Patriots, no matter how, weak of a season they're having, They're still an NFL team. You don't see it blowouts like this every day in the NFL. The Bills have won 5 of their last 7 victories by double digits, and they're looking to do that again tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. And it's funny that you mentioned, how often they win by double digits, because I believe one of the last teams to only get defeated by them by single digits was the Miami Dolphins. And of course, that'll be an interesting matchup later next week. So, you have to love the offense of the Bills, and you have to love the defense of their contenders, like the Miami Dolphins, one of the better defenses, if not the best defense in the NFL. So it's going to be a matter of, really, when you think they're going to match up against teams with good secondaries, you would suppose with J.C. Jackson, unfortunately, Stephon Gilmore out, but still McCourty's in there for the Patriots, you would think they would have a good secondary. But again, Josh Allen totally blows them out of the water in the air. And so you have to wonder how they're going to match up against more important teams, like next week against the Dolphins, who have Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, the best cornerback duo in the NFL. You have to think he'll probably do just fine. If he's throwing like this to Stephon Diggs this week against one of the better secondaries in the Patriots in the AFC East, they might do just fine against the best.
Absolutely. Tyler Bass kicks this one away, and it's out of the back of the end zone. And I'm sure everybody watching this Monday Night Football game in Buffalo, New York, Orchard Park, the surrounding areas, is certainly enjoying this one. It's 38-9 here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The Bills laying it on the New England Patriots, 13-16 left to go. Cam Newton benched for Jarrett Stidham, and it looks like Jarrett Stidham will come out to take snaps, most likely for the remainder of this ball game. No fans here in Foxborough tonight, but certainly the presence being felt all across the NFL. Jarrett Stidham under center, play action fake, being chased down, passes complete to the right side, and it's going to be about a 5-yard gain that time for Jacoby Myers. Second down. Kyle, what are you seeing right now? Jarrett Stidham, honestly, his throws might not be the most accurate, but he's playing better football than Cam Newton was, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, like I thought, Cam Newton really just doesn't fit the dynamic of this team. Patriots more of a less mobile quarterback type of squad, where they'd rather hand it off to their running backs and let them do the dirty work. And then, when they had Tom Brady, he wasn't mobile. He was a guy who could sit in the comfortable O-line, the comfortable pocket that they created for him, and, fight it downfield with some good throws, with a great receiving core. A really gritty squad is what Bill Belichick creates here in New England. So you have to wonder exactly what he's brewing in his mind right now with Jarrett Stidham. If he doesn't believe Cam Newton is the guy, Stidham is certainly a future franchise member. If he wants, we saw it with Tom Brady, a guy he didn't expect, wasn't super athletic, didn't have a huge upside, but he made him one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So now you have to wonder, is he going to gear this team around a young Cam Newton or an even younger Jarrett Stidham?
And on third down, Matt Milano comes up big again, taking down Sony Michel in the backfield. It's going to be 4th down for the Patriots. Matt Milano with another big open field tackle, Marchak.
Yeah, Milano's one of the most athletic tackles I've seen in the AFC East. I mean, there's just so many different guys, and I'll say it, so many times tonight. There's so many different faces to watch in this Bills squad. I mean, it seems like everyone's playing like a perennial all-star tonight. They're all Pro Bowlers in my heart, because honestly, they make the big plays when they need to, and that's what matters against gritty teams like the New England Patriots.
Andre Reed on the return, and there's a flag down on the field. Kyle, you sound a little nervous about next week, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly going to be a tough matchup. Of course, I'm a diehard Dolphins fan, but nonetheless, watching this Bills team makes me less biased than I should be next week. It'll be an interesting matchup, not just for them, but for us to be working together. It'll certainly be interesting. But like I said, I mean, if they can do so much damage, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and of course many other faces in the receiving core of the Bills, against the secondary of the Patriots, of course, without Stephon Gilmore, they're not as strong, but still against a decent secondary. I can't imagine what they would do against the best secondary in the NFL, against the Dolphins. They certainly still have a chance to, defeat them and, separate themselves from them. But nonetheless, I think the Dolphins will give them a run for their money. Like I said, best secondary in the NFL. So a lot of things to look at. Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, I'm sure, watching adamantly right now and studying what their opponent's going to look like tomorrow. Or not, not tomorrow, next week.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited for this game. And in fact, I think the Dolphins have like the best defense in the National Football League, as I mentioned. And I think, you mentioned the secondary. Well, how about that D-line? And, they even have Shaq Lawson, who was a former Buffalo Bill. The Bills, in order to build this offense, they had to drop some guys in the defense. You got to spread the money, right? There's a salary cap. Weren't able to pay some of the defensive guys what they necessarily wanted, so they go elsewhere. And now Shaq Lawson's a Miami Dolphin playing phenomenal football down in Southern Florida. So I'm excited for this matchup. Josh Allen's going to call it a night tonight. And out there is Matt Barkley under center for the Buffalo Bills. It's a good day when the fourth quarter just started and you have your second string quarterback. Don't see it all that often in the NFL. In fact, if this is an earlier week of the season, Allen's out there for all 4 quarters, but you want to save this guy for playoff football.
Yeah, you have to wonder. I mean, with his running style, especially when he breaks free, he's not afraid to not shy away from the contact. We saw it with Cam Newton, a guy who's not afraid to shy away from it, but he has everything or nothing to lose, really. Whereas, you need to keep Josh Allen healthy. So I think that's just one of the small things that'll help the Bills, make sure he's ready for next week. Like we said, we've been very excited for that matchup. Brian Flores has done a great job in Miami. But for now, Josh Allen gets to relax here in New England.
Pass complete to the left side. Andre Roberts makes a reception. So it looks like the Buffalo Bills are benching their entire starting lineup because Matt Barkley with a first down pass to Andre Roberts, who's the kick returner on the special teams unit. And now he's in here at wide receiver. So I don't think Diggs is out there. I don't think any of the main tailbacks are out there. I think the Bills are kind of calling off the brigade. This is interesting because I wonder if they'll sort of do the same thing against Miami next week, considering they would clinch the second seed with a win tonight. But at the same time, beating Miami would give Buffalo a more favorable opponent in the first round. So that'll be interesting to see. Barkley drops back on first down. This pass is incomplete, intended for Cole Beasley, who remains in the game. I don't believe Diggs is out there. Cole Beasley's out there. He's hobbling a little bit, but seems to be okay. 2nd and 10 for Buffalo.
Yeah, Beasley, one of the grittier guys on this Bills roster, if not pretty much all of the slot receivers in the NFL. He's certainly one of the best and one of the grittiest, and that's kind of a quality you need to have in that position. A lot of quick routes where when you get the ball, there's contact you have to make and yards you have to create. So certainly a guy you don't want to see hobbling, but nonetheless, it may mean little to nothing to him.
2nd and 10 for Buffalo, 10:28 left to go in the fourth quarter. Matt Barkley, hand off to the right side, goes to Devin Singletary. Singletary rumbling his way forward for a first down. What a run by Devin Singletary there. And the Bills move the chains despite not having their starting quarterback in the game again. 38-9 is the lead for Buffalo. Maybe a chance to extend it a little bit here. 10:09 left to play in the ball game. Matt Barkley in at quarterback for Buffalo, as I mentioned. Singletary getting the main rushes. Zach Moss sitting on the bench. Isaiah McKenzie still in there. Tyler Kroft in at tight end instead. And here's the unfortunate thing. We have some coaches talking to Cole Beasley here. You better hope he's not injured. That's exactly what they're trying to avoid. Isaiah McKenzie, wide receiver screen, able to make the catch. Not much room to run. Gets a yard or two. It'll be 2nd down for Buffalo. As they continue to attend to Beasley, he just kind of clips up his knee. You don't like to see that. That's very unfortunate. Yeah. He's sitting on the bench. You need him if you're Buffalo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's definitely not a pretty play. Really aggressive jab step right there, trying to cut in his route. And that's probably the reason why it was incomplete is he seemed to slip up there, might have pulled something. That's the type of play where you can really mess up your your ACL, excuse me. So you got to hope him being one of the centerpieces on this receiving offense that he's doing fine.
And a rumble forward here for Devin Singletary. Give him 8, and it'll be 3rd down for Motor, as they call him. John Brown did not play today for Buffalo, still on the injured reserve list at the wide receiver position. As they continue to show Cole Beasley. Now, he walked off the field. A little bit of a hobble, as I mentioned. But again, you don't want to mess with injuries right now. Not when you're up 38-9 over the Patriots, 1 week left. Then you have playoff football at that point. Matt Barkley, handoff up the middle. Singletary gets about 2. It'll be 4th down at the 39-yard line for Buffalo. Most likely we'll punt it. We'll see what McDermott elects to do.
Yeah, McDermott, like you said, a really aggressive coach. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if they want to air out Barkley's arm for the first time here. Of course, his first drive Josh Allen looking really relaxed on the sideline, pleased with his work tonight. I mean, he's had a hell of a job with Stephon Diggs, but Barkley, the one taking over right now.
And it looks like they will. 4th down and 1. Barkley, either that or they're just trying to catch New England to jump off sides, one or the other. Barkley under center for Buffalo. 7 seconds left on the play clock. 6 seconds now. 4, 3, 2, 1. And it looks like the Bills are going to take a timeout. Yeah, so that's what I expected. They kind of hurry everyone up like they're going to go for it. Barkley tries to get some cadence, catch New England to jump off sides. They've been undisciplined and done it a couple times tonight, but not that time. The Bills will punt here.
Yeah, I think they've learned their lesson almost 4 quarters deep now. So Barkley will hop off the field. They'll punt it away, but, that's the first drive for Barkley. But nonetheless, you can kind of see the change of pace when you get new faces in there. Now we have both the backup quarterbacks in this game. And, with 7.5 to go, a lot of time to kill and a lot of drives to kill with all these young faces coming in. And it's going to be interesting to see what these backup guys have to say about what they think their team is and what their depth looks like. I'd imagine the Bills, the way they've been playing, will still have the advantage in this last 7.5 minutes. They're just such a deep roster.
Yeah, absolutely. Corey Bajorquez out here for his second punt of the game as they continue the coverage, trying to avoid that fake. Saron Neal comes back in, and I don't think you're going to see a fake. The New England Patriots loading the box, just trying to get a block here, really. 2 seconds left. Ball snapped. No block today. Bajorquez gets it off. And that's a fantastic kick for Corey Bajorquez. Return man able to break a tackle, but not much else going for him. Taken down at about the 14-yard line. Great return defense by the Buffalo Bills. Gunnar Ozlowski didn't stand a chance. And we wish a happy holidays on ESPN. The Bills lead at 38-9 over the New England Patriots. Kyle, it's all Buffalo here in Foxborough.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen have been excellent tonight. What a duo, And, of course, a lot of other faces to look at on this Bills offense in the air. And even Singletary on the ground has done a good job, along with Moss in the backfield of the Buffalo Bills. So just so much talent on this Bills roster. And me as a Dolphins fan, I'm certainly worried on that matchup next week and in the playoffs if the Dolphins find themselves there. Of course, the AFC is such a tight division. So many different teams to look at and their way fighting for, there's only so many playoff spots and wild card spots, and they're not really that plentiful, especially when there's 4 teams fighting for them and only 3 to give. So like I said, the AFC is such a tight division, and it's just, it's because of these teams like the Buffalo Bills where they have so much depth and they have so many different it factors on all of their players. And, it makes it a tight competition with other teams like Tua Tagovailoa and Ryan Fitzpatrick trading touches in Miami. And, of course, Lamar Jackson leading the Ravens, another team holding on to their spot dearly. So the AFC, certainly the tightest division in the NFL.
There's some scenarios where the Bills could actually play the Dolphins week 17 and then play them a week later in the first round of the playoffs. So that would be certainly interesting for the Bills and the Dolphins to go at it back-to-back weeks. So that's just something to look out for. I mean, just depends how everything shakes out as far as the seeding goes. The Bills certainly look like they're going to lock up that 2 seed. So it really depends on who has the seed facing the 2. So.
Right. And there's just so many different scenarios in the NFL. It's just looking at how teams can find their ways in. It's just so interesting. Of course, the Dolphins, they really need that win next week against Buffalo. And even if they don't win, they have to trust that the Steelers will beat the Browns, who are missing a lot of their roster. So high odds for teams like the Dolphins, who are sitting comfortably, hopefully, with that wild card spot. But again, the Colts and other company will have something to say about that. So a lot of people, trying to find their way in.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that Dante Hightower and Patrick Chung opted out of this 2020 season before it even kicked off at the beginning of it all due to COVID-19, precautions. That's 2 of the best players in New England Patriots history on the defensive side of the football that didn't even play this year. The Patriots are going to get about the 15th draft pick in the draft. That's their highest since 2008. So if you're a Patriots fan, it's not the end of the world necessarily because you're going to get a good draft pick. You could trade up even if you wanted to. You have solid guys on the defensive side of the ball, which has been a struggle returning after this whole mess of COVID. But nonetheless, Jared Stidham in there nearly gets sacked, able to avoid it and throw this thing out of bounds. It'll be third down just like that for the New England Patriots, 3rd and 8 to be exact, 7 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, and I mean, with Bill Belichick, as a Patriots fan, I imagine it's easy to trust him and his process. Of course, he's changed a lot of players' lives. He created such a dynasty in New England with Tom Brady, who wasn't the most highly sought for draft pick. I believe he was 199th in his draft, and not super athletic, not a ton of upside to him, but nonetheless a franchise QB and one of the greatest to ever do it. And you could totally expect that with guys like Jared Stidham and Cam Newton, who have all the intangibles, the right attitude, the right athleticism, but it's just a matter of true development here in New England.
And on 3rd down and 8, Jared Stidham able to complete a pass to James White up the middle. And it's a first down for New England. 6:41 left to go. Clock continues to wind. Cam Newton hasn't played yet since halftime. Jared Stidham's 4 for 9 for 44 yards throwing the ball so far tonight. They've also done a good amount of running. Handoff up the middle. And Taylor gets maybe one, but pretty much halted at the line of scrimmage. 38-9 is the lead for Buffalo here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. 6:15 left to go. And again, the Bills just trying to kind of wind down this game, getting their starters out. Stidham, pressure coming, throws this one away into the turf. And they're saying it's behind him. It looks like they're waving that it's incomplete. Stidham just threw it in the turf, and the Bills thought they had a fumble recovery there, but you see it all the time. Precautionary on the defensive side. You want to cover your traces, but I think that ball was in front of Stidham a little bit.
Yeah, it might have been, but Stidham with that inexperience, a younger quarterback, that almost looked like he threw it behind him. Of course, dangerous, not something you can afford to do as a quarterback sitting in his pocket, is toss it behind you. That won't look pretty. So, but fortunately, they got away with that one. So Stidham with another chance here at 3rd and 10.
3rd down and 10, 6:04 left to play. Stidham dropping back. Pressure coming on the right side for the Bills. This one is middle of the field, incomplete. The intended receiver was Jacoby Myers in the middle of the field. He was left alone, wide open. Stidham, with all the pressure in his face, couldn't complete the pass, and it'll be 4th down. The Patriots will punt it away, and it looks like Matt Barkley will get at least one more try with the football to make something happen and possibly extend this lead.
Yeah, hopefully Barkley will probably just drain the clock tonight. I believe this game's really all wrapped up at 38-9 for the Bills. What a night for Josh Allen and his receiving core. The Bills, of course, have done a great job on defense as well. Their secondary has looked great, completely underrated, really, if you want to be matter of fact about it. But right now, they have to finish out this game.
And keep an eye out for Cole Beasley. Interested to see what happens there. Hunt for Bentley goes up, and Andre Roberts elects not to take it out. Rolls around the 16-yard line, and it looks like that's where the Bills will come and start with it. 5:44 left to kill on the clock. Bill Belichick has got some work to do with this squad to get them back to where they were. Meanwhile, Tampa Tom for the Buccaneers has them to their first playoff appearance in a very long time. So who won that deal? It's hard to say it wasn't Tom Brady, considering the Buccaneers are going to the playoffs, a chance to fight for the Super Bowl. Kyle, what a story that would be for Bills fans if the Buccaneers go to the Super Bowl and the Bills go to the Super Bowl. They play each other. That would mean, even though Josh Allen never got to beat Tom Brady when he was in New England, if somehow they were able to beat the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, like, as a Bills fan, beating Tom Brady in the Super Bowl would kind of be a dream come true, no?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that would pretty much be the perfect opportunity to celebrate. And in the Bills Mafia, I can't imagine what you would feel like getting an opportunity to continue your success against the Patriots per se and Tom Brady. Of course, not the most star-powered season that he would expect, but nonetheless a serious contender in the NFC. So he's been a fun guy to watch, and it kind of proves you think he's a franchise guy, and then he goes over to the Buccaneers and shows that he's a real talent. So it's a serious story in the NFL, and it's going to continue to be breaking news. As Tom Brady at 40 plus years old is still an athlete.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And I tip my hat to the guy. I mean, nobody does it better, honestly. except maybe Josh Allen. But 38-9 is the
A little bit of
score.
bias there.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely crooked numbers that he put up tonight. Seriously.
I mean, he throws. I'll have to take a look. Right now, I'll take a look at his exact numbers. But, I mean, he is just playing some phenomenal football right now. As the Bills keep things rolling. Hand off up the middle on 2nd down and 5. Yeah, we got to remember we still got 5 minutes left to talk about football happening. Josh Allen tonight, 27 for 36, 320 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, the stat line doesn't get better than that. 4 touchdowns tonight. Running the ball, Josh Allen has 4 rushes for 35 yards. Just a stud night out of a true, I believe, future MVP recipient. Probably not this year, but I think if he plays football like that year in and year out, he'll have a year where he's an MVP winner.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he continues to play like that, he's honestly arguably in this race right now. If he continues to perform like that, of course, guys like Aaron Rodgers will probably continue to run away with it. Guys who can sit in the pocket and their arms are just, they're throwing that ball on a thread every time. And, on the other side of the ball, we're looking at the Patriots, and they've only topped out at 56 yards created from their quarterbacks tonight and nearly 200 yards of offense. And, that's nearly, I'm stretching that one a little bit. So the Patriots, obviously, with a lot of things to change coming out of this game. Of course, we still have 4.5 to go with Stidham in the game for the Patriots. But right now we're worried about Barkley and how he'll draw out the clock or find his way upfield for the Bills.
38-9 is the lead for Buffalo. We've said it a trillion times. 4:36 left to play here in the ball game. Clock continues to wind down. Josh Allen's been on the sideline since the 11.5-minute mark when they put in Matt Barkley at quarterback. 3rd down and 1 for Barkley and the Bills. They'll probably wind this thing all the way down to the last second or two on the play clock, which currently sits at 10. Barkley directly under center, 2 receivers to the left side, man in the backfield, handoff up the middle, Zach Moss. Zach Moss gets a yard, and it's a 1st down for Buffalo. So just like that, able to move the chains are the Bills, no problem.
Yeah, Moss, another centerpiece in that backfield for the Bills. He's a solid tailback. Him and Singletary have been splitting touches, and he's a guy who, although tumbling into the 1st down there, is really a guy who can find himself up the middle fighting for yards, and certainly a person you want on that offense for the Bills. Like you said with Cole Beasley, he like he was hobbling off the field, of course, different position. He's a slot receiver, but he's another guy that's a great example that, despite his numbers not being crooked, is so important to the offense and the functionality of the offense in this Buffalo Bills squad.
1st down and 10. Barkley, Isaiah McKenzie jet sweep on the left side. He gets 3 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. That 1st down's big because it allows the Bills to just continue to kill this clock, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's their goal right now. Barkley's just going to hand it off to his guys and, maybe short passes, just find his way upfield, but nothing crazy. And, with 3 minutes to go, it seems the Bills just want to pack it up, and they're worried about next week against the Dolphins and eventually the playoffs, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the Dolphins are going to be a good competition next week, and then the playoffs for sure. This team's a serious Super Bowl contender. Can't believe I'm saying that the Buffalo Bills are really looking to be the true 2nd best team in the AFC. And what an AFC championship game that would be against the Kansas City Chiefs. Handoff up the middle, Zach Moss, an explosion of speed. 1st down and much more for Buffalo as he nears the midfield mark. 2.5 minutes to go. Clock continues to wind. Chains move again. Buffalo is going to seal this thing away, I think, Kyle.
Yeah, they're just keeping the chains moving with 2.5 to go. The clock will remain ticking. I imagine it's just going to be runs up the middle. And Josh Allen, speaking to his teammates on the sideline, he's had a hell of a job tonight. He's certainly feeling good about Miami next week. Tough secondary that he'll have to face. But for now, Matt Barkley ticking away at the clock with 2 minutes to go. 38-9, the Bills moving on to 12-3. I mean, what a game for them tonight. The secondary just split wide open without Stephon Gilmore in the Patriots defense. So just such an odd dynamic and a unique matchup you have here tonight. But nonetheless, the Bills making a statement for the AFC East and really the AFC in general. They're all on watch now.
And that'll do it for the 2-minute warning. So the 2-minute warning comes at the 2-minute mark exactly, and the Buffalo Bills will have a final 2 minutes to seal this thing away. It'll be 1st down when they come back, but of course a timeout and a commercial break to give things a little bit of breathing room. And the New England Patriots really got to regroup after this one. They'll drop to 6-9 on the season following this loss. One more game to go for the New England Patriots. As we take a look at their schedule, they played the Bills once, and it was much closer game when they played at Bills Stadium. 24-21 victory for the Buffalo Bills against the Patriots earlier this year. That was in early November. And since November, that was on November 1st, the Bills have just progressed that much more. I mean, they're clicking at the right time, playing their best football. They've won 7 of their last 8, and that one loss was Hail Mary from middle of the field to DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, one of the craziest plays we've seen. So this very well could be a team that has won 8 straight, honestly might as well be at that point. And next up for the Patriots will be the New York Jets. So the Patriots, the way the Jets are playing after 2 victories in a row, the Patriots could drop to 6-10.
Yeah, and it was certainly rough to drop that game against the Arizona Cardinals, which, for a while we're a playoff contender, but Kyler Murray, unfortunately, just dropping out of the playoff contention now. Or there is at least certainly still in it, but very close, cutting it very close. Of course, the NFC with a lot of widespread talent over some mediocre records. Arizona's still in it at 8-7, and of course, the NFC East, what a mess that is. 2 teams at 6-9 fighting for a spot at the top, and the New York Giants still in it at 5-10. So what a mess the NFC has turned into. And meanwhile, a very top-heavy, offensively based AFC, like we said, we'll go back to the Bills' success so far tonight. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, the dynamic duo, and triple digits easy in the back pocket for Diggs. So he's been fun to watch, and all sorts of other faces to see in the AFC coming up next week and into the playoffs, whereas the NFC seeming weaker than they've ever been.
These Monday night games are late, man. It's past my bedtime, Kyle.
Yeah, at 11 o'clock, and the clock's ticking away. It seems like the minutes come by slower and slower, as Matt Barkley will certainly take his time here with the next few kneels. But Josh Allen, 69% completion percentage on the season, on the dot. He's had a hell of a season thus far, and really his short career here in Buffalo has been fantastic, and hopefully the success will continue.
Breaks Jim Kelly's single season passing yardage, and Jim Kelly tweets out just now, congratulations to Josh Allen. Jim Kelly set that record back in the 90s. Now Josh Allen takes the reins 25 to 30 years later and breaks his record. So pretty cool to see. Jim Kelly, always been a part of the Bills program, always been a big supporter of Josh Allen. His struggles and battles with cancer are remarkable. Jim Kelly is forever a Buffalo Bill for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a deep-rooted history of young men that, despite the lack of Super Bowls, have found their successes here in Buffalo. It's just the Bills Mafia, one of the most outrageous per se, outspoken fan bases in the NFL, and that's kind of unarguable. As a matter of fact, like you said, they won that competition and earned that billboard that they faithfully placed right in Foxborough, New England. So kind of a great meeting here for the fan base in Buffalo, wrapping it up now, and Matt Barkley ready to walk away as Bill Belichick not happy with his squad, dropping to 6-9. Cam Newton trying his best tonight. Gio, what were your thoughts?
Oh, I think, again, the clock continues to wind. And I'm a little biased. I can put that out there. But the Bills, they just, it's great. Last week, they clinched the NFC East Championship. This week, they clinched the 2 seed in the AFC playoffs. So no matter what happens now, next week, the Bills got a good spot in the playoffs to play against whoever it is. It'll be a good team. And it's just an exciting time to be a Bills fan because, again, they've won now it's going to be out of their last 8 games. They've won 6 of their last 8 by double digits. Tonight was no exception. They're playing their best football at the end of the year in December when you want to do it, blowing out the Patriots tonight, blowing out the Broncos before that. And it's just been blowing out the Steelers, blowing out the Niners. I mean, every game, the last 4 have been blowouts. So it's exciting to see, to say the least.
Yeah, and I'd imagine next week in that matchup against the Dolphins, they'll probably have Allen and company in and really reach for that great position in the playoffs against more favorable competition. Certainly a chance where they face the Dolphins and end up facing them the following week in the first round of the playoffs. So the AFC stronger than ever, Gio. And Josh Allen, what a performance tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. As we will, look to wrap things up tonight. Josh Allen, phenomenal performance. Cam Newton on the other side, the struggles were real. He comes out, Stidham comes in, doesn't play bad, but it was all Buffalo tonight. And to wrap up the show, let's take a look at some of your next-gen stats and look at just what the Buffalo Bills did to come away with a 38-9 victory. You mentioned it earlier, Kyle. Josh Allen, 27 for 36, 320 yards, 4 touchdown passes, QBR rating of 138.7. Matt Barkley goes 2 for 3 with 11 yards as well. Zach Moss led the way in carries, 12 carries, 57 yards, and a touchdown. Devin Singletary, 10 carries, 36 yards. Josh Allen, 4 carries, 35 yards. And then receiving, Stephon Diggs, 9 receptions, 145 yards, 3 touchdowns. Are you kidding me, Stephon Diggs? Long one of 50 yards. Dawson Knox, 3 receptions, 51 yards. Gabriel Davis, 3 receptions, 33 yards. Lee Smith, 2 receptions, 31 yards. Isaiah McKenzie, 4 receptions, 26 yards. Cole Beasley had 3 receptions. Devin Singletary had 2. Neal had 1. Andre Roberts had 2. Tywan Jones had 1. And Zach Moss had 1. Look at all those names of guys that caught passes tonight. That is incredible. That's why this team's so deadly. This team played phenomenal football today. The Bills defensively were led by Matt Milano with some great open field tackles. It was just a phenomenal game out of the Buffalo Bills. Kyle, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, the Miami Dolphins and their secondary, and Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, some of the best cornerback duos in the NFL, if not the best, holding teams to the least amount of points per game in the NFL, certainly have their hands full next week. Those numbers are completely crooked, Gio, and there's no denying that Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and company are certainly going to be dangerous on this top-heavy, offensively based team. The Bills are coming into a defensively based team with Miami next week, so that dynamic will be odd. A lot to fight for next week in Week 17. The Bills, Miami, Tua Tagovailoa, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Who will start for the Dolphins? A lot of question marks up in the air, Gio. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for being here, Kyle. We'll see if we get something going during the week, but our next likely broadcast will probably be the Bills and the Dolphins on Sunday, and that's going to be a 1 p.m. kickoff next Sunday, so about 6 days until we'll be on the call. So, again, we might get something going. We'll see if Syracuse basketball comes back at all. They're talking maybe they'll play on the 2nd. With the 10-day coming back. Maybe they'll play North Carolina on the 2nd, possibly. So we'll keep you updated with that. The second would be on Saturday. So we could have a game Saturday, but most likely we'll see you on Sunday with the Bills and the Dolphins. So just to wrap things up, once again, shout out to our proud new sponsor right here with the Orange Heat swag. accessoryspot.com, XESSORY spot.com. And starting January 1st, you'll be able to pick up your Orange Heat merch. They're very big on all of their tech. They have a lot of stuff in phone accessories, accessoryspot.com, and the new Orange Heat line of shirts and more to come. So January 1st, check it out, and we'll see you on Sunday, the Bills and the Dolphins. Check us out on social media. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Kyle Marchak's out there on Instagram and Twitter as Kyle Marchak. I'm out there as Geo Heater on Twitter and Giovanni Heater on Instagram. So this has been a broadcast brought to you by Orange Heat. Thank you so much for being here today, guys. So for Kyle Marchak, I'm Giovanni Heater. We'll see you next.